kick back, relax, watching football on a Friday night. It's Friday, and we're gonna be hard to take. It's Friday, from coast to coast, the CFL is Canada's game. Well, we're all pumped up to party, and we're ready for a fight. Come on, get back, relax, watch some Friday night football. Boys are too bad, playing CFL football game is up for grabs. It's Friday night football tonight.
We begin doubleheader night in Steeltown, where it's the defending champion Ticats against the revamped Riders on Adidas. Friday Night Football. Hey folks, how are you? James Duthie along with the mini panel. Matt's in Hamilton for the game, so it's Eric Tillman and Chris Schultz with more valuable airtime, and believe me, they are pumped about it. Part one of our 6-hour pigskin-a-thon is indeed the Riders and the Ticats, and on paper, it is indeed a bit of a mismatch. The Ticats own the cup. The Riders own an 11-game losing streak, but they are much improved, and this is the wacky, nutty CFL, and so let's ask the wacky, nutty Chris Schultz if they have a chance in this one.
Yeah, they have a chance, but their biggest problem is the quarterback of the Hamilton Ticats, Danny McManus. I don't think there's a better quarterback at taking a premeditated game plan and then executing it specifically on the football field. And tonight, he's going against a Rider team that has 5 defensive backs that are basically all playing out of position. Danny Mac is at his best in terms of timing routes, and he's at his best in picking secondaries apart. And I think all these new players, well, it's just too tempting for offensive coordinator Ron Lancaster Jr. not to test. I see 5 receivers, I see 6 receivers, and I see Danny McManus having a great night tonight, Eric.
Chris, I agree, and I think Danny Mac has to be licking his chops against this young defense, but I see maybe a little different approach than you do. Watch Ronald Williams. The Hamilton coaching staff points out the fact that Saskatchewan is a little light in their front 7. They feel like they can run the football on them. We might even see a tight end tonight, but either way, run or pass, I think Hamilton puts up big points. So how does Saskatchewan win? I think they have to match them point for point. Are they capable of doing that with a young quarterback? Well, they might just be able to do that because this Hamilton defense, because of free agency losses and injuries, is not nearly as good as it was last year. So maybe, James, just maybe, it's an old-fashioned shootout.
All right, let us check out our starting quarterbacks, brought to you by Robin's Donuts. Still rocking after all these years. It is indeed Henry Burris taking on the best there is in the CFL, Danny McManus. Also a couple of new guys in the lineup. Former Queen center Rod Smith teaming up with some journeyman quarterback. Get a helmet on, Dunnigan. Your head's taken enough shots. They'll be in the booth to call it next.
The lights are on at Iverwin Stadium on this summer night. A good night as it stands right now for a football game. Although that could change. The clouds have rolled in. Here's a look at the weather conditions. 16 degrees Celsius, so certainly not too hot. And you can see that wind picking up from the west at 10 kilometers per hour. The Hamilton Tiger Cats facing Danny Barrett and his Saskatchewan Roughriders, a rookie head coach, although a long-time player as a quarterback in this Canadian Football League. You know his teammates, Matt, would love to get him that first win.
Starting to look like a head coach more and more as he's putting on that weight too. He's trying to get that pregame warm-ups going so he can shed a few.
Well, there you go, Ronnie Lancaster, a great quarterback in his day as well, and a great coach as well. His 13th, excuse me, as a CFL head coach, and his 3rd with the Hamilton Tiger Cats coming off that Grey Cup victory. And Lancaster always composed on that sideline. You can never tell if they're up or down.
He's got his mother in the audience here tonight too, and he's telling her that, telling us prior to the game that she's just excited to be here. 82 years old, and got more spunk than he ever thought about having.
And Paul McCallum to kick this game off, and it'll be to the right of your screen. He'll be kicking into that breeze, so the Ticats will have the ball and the wind to work with. Looking at Archie Amerson standing back at his 14th. And this one is underway off the foot of McCallum. Amerson will take it at his 20, up to the 25. And across the 30, and still going till he gets down to about the 37-yard line. Danny McManus And that Hamilton Tiger Cat offense, slow out of the gate this season so far, but it's experienced. No changes at all, and he's got a number of good weapons to go to, including, of course, Darren Flutie. Excellent slot back and up front. The significant change at left tackle, Benjamin French replacing Seth Dittman, who's gone on to try the National Football League. But that's been a great O-line, allowing only 7 sacks last year and none this season, Matt. See the numbers of McManus so far this season. He'll work on first down. Standing under center, Carl Coulter. And the handoff, they run right away to Ronald Williams. Has some room off to his left. He finds it, gets up across the 40 to the 43.
Got to get that man the ball more often. He's going to make it happen for him. The offensive line loves it when they can tee up on the D right away, set the tone of this football game.
Lancaster would love to see a nice quick start. His offense could move the ball in week 1 against BC, but had no touchdowns offensively to show for it. And last week it was a slower start against Edmonton, finally producing a couple of TDs and some movement. The catch by Flutie, but of course it was whistled down beforehand. A lot of movement on that line of scrimmage before the snap was taken, and it is procedure against the Hamilton Tiger Cats.
Procedure, Hamilton, number 66, second down repeated.
Right guard Mike Mihalik called on that one, Matt.
Taking a look at the defense, quickly getting their reputation being the fastest defense in the league with Ali and Trulek at the corners and White and Donaldson, defensive halfbacks up the linebacker position. Then in the backfield, look what you have. You have basically 5 rookies back there. This is where it's going to be a challenge for the Saskatchewan Roughriders.
And you got to wonder what McManus will do to exploit that. He passes it to Williams, who has a first down. Up across the Ticat, 50 to the 52. A gain of 15 yards for the Ticats, and the chains move.
Coming right at you with the replay, getting Ronald Williams involved early. Give him the rock out of the backfield. Simple. Hey, showing his athleticism, spinning around, making a tough catch, getting his head down and running over some lighter folks in the linebacking core of the Saskatchewan Roughriders.
Williams in his 5th year, his 3rd with the Tiger Cats. And a first down near midfield for McManus to go to work. Has lots of time and wide open. Corey Grant with the ball. That's another first down for the Ticats inside the Saskatchewan 50 to about the 48.
Well, Grant just runs a simple hitch pattern. Danny McManus reads it from the inside out. And on the corner, McCallum, number 31, get caught on the seam in Keaton. And he's looking down the seam, and nobody is by Grant. And Grant simply just takes it, turns it upfield, gets another first down.
Corey Grant was an outstanding player at Wilfrid Laurier University. You can see what he's done as a Tiger Cat as well. The big gain there, and another first down. This time he is corralled by Colin Scribner. It's Ronald Williams, the ball carrier. He goes nowhere.
Well, that's more like it. Saskatchewan, you know, they're averaging 178 yards on Saskatchewan's defense, and Colin Scribner's brought in to shore this D-line up. He just comes backdoor, shows his quickness. He's a big man, 292 pounds, shows his quickness to the football there and kind of clotheslines Ronnie.
A loss of a yard. So the Saskatchewan defense standing up now. And a 2nd and 11, big down for McManus. The Ticats had a shotgun and a handoff to Williams. Has some room, but not enough for a first down. He'll get it down to the Saskatchewan 40 and field goal range with the breeze, especially for Paul Baldiston.
I think what we're seeing early here, Rod, is Hamilton's game plan to try to establish that line of scrimmage and dominate up front. Everybody else has. Why not take a crack at it? And so they're getting Ronald Williams involved. Hey, and they should be, because this guy can tote the rock. He can run the ball with anybody in the league and get him involved early.
6 for 6. Perfect season so far for Ozzie in his 15th season, and on the verge of becoming the 2nd all-time leading scorer in CFL history, just 19 points behind Dave Ridgway. Of course, BC's ageless wonder Louis Pasaglia is the all-time leader. This one a 47-yarder to put the Cats on the board. Flutie puts it down, got lots of leg, and it's good. So the first drive of the game puts the Ticats on the board, a 47-yarder by Paul Baldiston. 3-0 Ticats. You're watching Adidas Friday Night Football on TSN.
Adidas Friday Night Football on TSN is brought to you by Adidas and by Molson Canadian. I am Canadian.
In Danny Barrett's first 2 games as a head coach, his team fell behind early, and it's happened again, albeit just 3 points and a Paulus Ballaston field goal. But now he'll watch his young quarterback Henry Burris go to work at the 35. Burris, despite the 2 losses, has really shown the flash and potential that they expect of him as he hands off this time. And short game. Straight up for Chris Zarka, fullback. The offense here, the guy to watch especially, good receivers, 88. Curtis Marsh, he had 11 catches for 159 yards last week against BC. And this offensive line's been around for a while. The big change this year, Jeremy O'Day starting at center instead of James Monroe, who is now the backup. And pretty good numbers. Over 600 yards passing. He has thrown 4 interceptions, including one that went for a touchdown last week, and the Ticats have him. Down he goes. Joe Montford in there, and Mike O'Shea, the linebacker, as well.
I tell you, the unsung heroes, everybody talks about Mumford and Floyd and the edge. Let's talk about Cummins and Philbrick. The unsung heroes keeping it clean for Mike O'Shea, who just made the sack on Henry Burris. In the secondary, the left side, Urias and Harper are very young, but then from there over, simply doesn't get any better than that. You see Mike O'Shea coming all the way around the outside, anticipating that sprint out, makes Henry Burris pull up and gets a mid on him, and that's all Mike O'Shea needs, and pulls him down. A big play for Hamilton.
Endearing himself to Tiger Cat fans again. Of course, he started his CFL career here and then went off to the Toronto Argonauts for 3 seasons. And away it goes off the side of Paul McCallum's foot, barely to midfield. So once again, the Ticats will start with good field position, this time at their own 54 after only a 20-yard punt by McCallum. Ron Lancaster, 2-time Coach of the Year in '96 with Edmonton and with '98 with the Tiger Cats, who went on to lose the Grey Cup to Calgary that year, and now defending his Grey Cup championship. He has 4 Grey Cup rings. Hasn't been able to put them back-to-back ever. He was a quarterback with Ottawa, winning in '60, and of course won one with Saskatchewan 6 years later, and Edmonton in '93 as a head coach, and then again last year with the Hamilton Tiger Cats. Out of the shotgun, McManus has a man open again. It's Corey Grant. The coverage has been soft, and he gets close to the 50 of Saskatchewan, a gain of about 4 or 5 yards.
Again, Danny McManus, just simply formation in Saskatchewan early. 5 receivers to one side, freeing up Corey Grant, a receiver they've got to get involved in this offense. And what a great way to do it than to isolate him on the backside against a young cornerback in Morgan. Just a great looking formation. Danny McManus not off to a great start, but he told me yesterday when I was talking to him, hey, it's not where you start, it's where you finish. And he certainly understands that.
And he's provided some wonderful finishes over the years as well. It's second down, about 5 to go. Out of shotgun again. Looking further down for Grant. It's intercepted. Big pick. Omar Morgan gets it that time down inside the 20. There are flags, however. And what a big turnover this would be for the Green Riders, as Danny Mac tried to get him a little deeper.
It just looked like a lack of communication between Danny McManus and Corey Grant.
Offside, Hamilton, number 81. Penalties declined.
So Tony Aikens called him the offside, and it stands an interception for the Green Riders.
Well, Danny throws this ball with timing. We're going to take a look at it from the end zone here. Throws it with timing, gets rid of the ball. It's not pressured. It's on the money, and it doesn't look like doesn't look like the receiver.
It was Tony Aikens, wasn't
Tony Aikens, who singled up all by himself out there challenging Morgan. And Morgan comes up with a big play there. Danny Mac knows that play should have been either ball batted down or incomplete, but not certainly turned over.
The pass from Burris, a short one to Eric Gulliford of about 3 or 4 yards, and McManus was pretty upset with himself, I think, going back off to the sideline.
Yeah, but just study that face right there. All right, that face is not, it's best poker face in the league right there. It's not going to change whether that's a touchdown pass or it's an interception. I don't know how he does it, but he certainly doesn't wear his emotions on his sleeves.
That's his upset face. That's also his excited face,
yeah.
His happy face.
That's it right
his
there.
His miserable face. They're all the same during a game for McManus. Henry Burris throwing again. It's complete, but I believe it is just shy of it. It'll be close, very close, depending on where they mark this football. They change do move. They mark it just around the 30-yard line. So first down for Saskatchewan.
Well, in order for Saskatchewan to be successful, you've got to balance the attack. They've thrown the ball the first couple of weeks way too many times and hadn't gotten the running game involved. They've got to balance their attack and certainly special attention to special teams. They've got to shore up special teams, especially against this Hamilton team.
And they got to get that big one on the road. They haven't won a road game since '98. The handoff on first down and isn't going very far at all. It's Dion Tyler had a big game last week in BC for Danny Barrett, but that time at a short gain of 3 yards. 2nd and 7 for Saskatchewan.
All of you that aren't familiar with Ivor Wynne Stadium, both teams are on the same side of the field. And when Danny Barrett, we see him signaling in plays there, he's actually 50 yards away from his young quarterback, and that could be an ill feeling for the youngster right now, and he's trying to get used to that, getting the signals from such a far distance away.
Only his 5th start in his CFL career for Henry Burris. Pump fake, finds a man again. He's got Marsh, his first catch of the day, and it is close to a first down. It'll be about a yard shy.
Yeah, what I like here is Henry Burris doesn't force the ball over top. He takes the underneath shot to Marsh, puts it on the money. High percentage throw, puts it in stride. Schelling's in his hip pocket, where he's supposed to be, understands down and distance, brings him down. Now they're punting it away, but good play selection, Danny Barrett. High completion percentage throw right there for the young man. Put him in a good spirits, get him in a rhythm early. It's just so important for a young quarterback coming out of the chute.
It leaves him a yard shy, however, so Paul McCallum, standing at his 25, will get this away. His last one went only 20 yards. This one is much better, driving low into the wind for Tony Akins, who takes it at his 31 and backtracks and gets nothing essentially from where he caught the ball. Tyson St. James catches up to him after a 41-yard punt. This is Adidas Friday Night Football on TSN.
The virtual first down line is brought to you by Molson Canadian. I am Canadian.
Well, Hamilton's a favorite here at home against Saskatchewan, Matt, but there are some things they have to adhere to.
Yeah, they do. They have to mix it up early and confuse this young secondary Saskatchewan Roughriders, using multiple formations and moving people around pre-snap. And they got to get in Henry Burris's face, put him in second and long situations where they can mix things up in the secondary. And they got to keep pace with Montreal. Montreal's out to a great start at 3-0.
Beating Toronto again last night handily. Ronald Williams on the carry and gets it up. Gain of 4 to the 35 for the Ticats.
Continue to pound it to Ronnie Williams, trying to establish a line of scrimmage, but they're also using formations where they're ISOing either Grant or Akins on McCalla all by themselves to one side of the football field, and that's just simply picking on one individual player in the secondary. And obviously they think they can attack McCalla or Morgan, their corners, and with different individuals, and get a jump start and a good matchup there from the get-go.
The trademark of this Ticat offense is how well they protect McManus and how quickly he gets rid of the ball. And he gets rid of it there to Archie Emerson. Big first down, Hamilton. Down to the Saskatchewan 42.
First down, Tiger Cats at the 48-yard line.
Great protection. They're going to have to get in his face a lot quicker than that, because he gave Danny McManus this type of time. Emerson comes all the way across the football field. Danny puts it in stride. Big gain, puts him in scoring territory already.
And they'll mark this down at the 43, a gain of 35 for the Tiger Cats, who are in business again with a 3-0 lead here in the first quarter at Ivor Wynne.
Rundus Price bringing him down there. That man or no man brings him down.
Out of shotgun again. Lots of time. Wide open again. Darren Flutie, his first catch of the night. And it's another Hamilton first down.
Just spectacular timing by Danny McManus through this ball. And Darren's just trying to catch his balance coming out of his break. Turns and the ball almost knocks him out. He's catching this out of protection alone. Danny, 1, 2, 3, throws it. Darren turns around, thank you very much, turns it up for an easy first down. That is just two experienced pros going at it. Just fantastic time, and that's why nobody gets to Danny McManus.
And that's a gain of 21. And McManus is on fire right now on this drive. Deep in Saskatchewan territory. They fake the handoff to Williams. He's looking end zone. And nobody's there. Closest man is Alundis Bryce, and he was 5 yards away as it just heads past the dead ball line.
Yeah, again, they're ISOing 5 people to the field, and then they got ISO Grant all alone to the boundary against Morgan. Danny play actions to Ronnie Williams, figures they've gone to him enough to get the respect of everybody, pulls it out. Morgan did a good job of blanketing Grant, and then Danny Mac did the wise, intelligent, experienced thing, throw that out of the back of the end zone.
So it's 2nd and 10. And this time it's knocked down. Demetrius Maxey got his paws on it and was even looking around to see if he could get his hands on it again and maybe pick it off, but it falls incomplete, and another field goal situation for Paul Osbaldiston and the Ticats.
Saskatchewan will take this. It's just like a sack. Maxey's coming right off the right edge here. You can see him. And a poor circle there. Best I can do. Comes up. Beats Hack. Gets in front of his face. Gets vertical. Gets his paws up. You can't get there. Get your hands up. Disrupt the throwing lane for the quarterback, and exactly what he does. Hack can't believe it. Maxey says, yeah, I knew it all along.
A 29-yard field goal for Osbaldiston, who remains perfect for the 2000 season. Put 3 more on. 6-0 Ticats. What we have here is just part 1 of a doubleheader. After we leave Hamilton, we'll head to Commonwealth Stadium in Edmonton. John Wells and Glenn Suter will have the Eskimos at 0-2 hosting the Winnipeg Blue Bombers, who are 0-2, but of course have a point in the standings after taking Calgary to overtime last week in Winnipeg, a game they thought they should have won and could have won. So the Bombers and the Eskimos, motivated clubs. That's later tonight on Adidas Friday Night Football. Right here, it's early. And the Green Riders trail by 6 after another Osbaldiston field goal. Dion Tyler does not have much up the middle so far tonight. There, he gains about a yard.
Dion hesitated a little bit in the backfield because he didn't see anything. But, you know, to his credit, there wasn't a lot there. And, you know, but he's got to just pound it up in there and create a hole.
Entering week 3, Tyler, 2nd in combined yardage, almost 300. He had 137 yards rushing last week in BC. And they look to him to fill the void left by Mike Saunders, who retired in the offseason. A 2nd and 10, so essentially no gain. Out of shotgun is Burris with 4 to the right, but they don't get it off in time by the looks of things. The flags come down, and it's blown just as the ball is being snapped.
Procedure, Saskatchewan, number 51, 2nd down repeated.
Well, this is not where you want to be if you're Henry Burris, because Don Southern and the Hamilton Ticats can do so many different things in a 2nd and long situation to confuse a young quarterback, and this is exactly where you don't want to be if you're Danny Barrett and the Saskatchewan Roughriders, and certainly if you're Henry Burris.
The left tackle John Terry called for procedure, so it's 2nd and 15. 4 to the right again for Burris, who gets it off to Chris Zarka. And Zarka gets up across the 40. Good effort, but still shy of the first down. And McCallum will be back in to punt the football away.
We got Mumford up top, and we got Jeff Cummins on the bottom. There's Cummins right here, and Mumford's right up here. They're just rushing 3. Here's Philbrook. They're dropping 9. They call this 33. They come up, jam the receivers. Nobody downfield, so Burris has got to duck and chuck. And he throws in the flat. Zarka does what he can, but eventually they got to punt the football. They just didn't move the chains there. Great defense by Hamilton. 2nd and long, make them throw underneath, come up, make the tackle. It's exactly what they did, force them to punt the ball.
And McCallum stands at his 27. Punting for the 3rd time so far in this game with 1:44 to go until quarter time. Nearly blocked. There's that special teams again. Tony Akins gets it just across his 35, and that could have been a lot worse for Saskatchewan. McManus back on, and we'll be right back. The Ticats have the ball at their own 36. Keaton Cromartie nearly had them in possession of that ball a lot further downfield, almost blocking the punt by Paul McCallum at 33 yards. McManus right back to work. He had Moriali, but he couldn't hang on. It was a little bit behind him. And it falls incomplete. It'll be 2nd and 10. And Matt, here's the play I was talking about, nearly a block punt, another one for Hamilton.
Yeah, Cromartie gets in there, and Daryl Adrona, speaking to him before the game, says first punt, they're going to take a look at what Saskatchewan's trying to do, and then they're going to go for the block. And they saw what they do. They saw weakness. Cromartie just comes untouched and almost gets his paw on that football and causes another great special teams play for the Hamilton Tigers.
2 weeks ago here at Ivory, Clifford Ivory blocked one of Louis Basaglia's, and it went for a Jared Smith touchdown. There's a big play. This could go for a touchdown. Archie Emerson. They won't get him.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yards, Danny McManus to Archie Emerson. And Hamilton's opening up before quarter time. Paul Osbaldiston here makes it a 13-0 game.
Danny McManus going back to the well. We just saw it the series before. With crossing pattern, just coming from one area to the other. Alundis Bryce one-on-one with Archie Emerson. Wasn't as close this time to take him down after the catch. Archie gets a great block and then uses his speed to get up the sidelines. Says, get out of here. Here's Grigg. Great block. Andrew Grigg showing you, Jay, you don't have to get a big piece of him, just a little piece, enough to free your man. Puts him in the end zone. That's how strictly these people, that's how quickly these people can strike.
And we talked to, well, there you got a thumb up.
Oh, we got a thumb up.
You know, that's the happy face.
Here we go.
Here we go
this
again.
Is touchdown face.
Now, he was upset, and that face looked the same a little while ago.
That's the TD face there. Look at that. Oh, yeah, I'm excited.
On the floor. Yeah, we're so far off.
Yeah, looks a lot like the picture he posed for right there.
I bet his heart rate's probably about 50 right now. Hey, look at that. That's the way. That's what I'm expecting to see. Nothing from Danny Mac. Wants to go out there and do it again.
Danny McManus in career passing yardage has 29,999.
Hey, 30,000's on its way tonight, baby.
You'd have to think so. It would be an extreme shock if that didn't happen. Kennedy and Keesian taking the kickoff return up across his 25. And Keesian still going. Finally gets taken down at the 33, a 30-yard return.
Taken by McKeon. Clifford Ivory on the stop for the Tiger Cats.
And Henry Burris sees his team down, more reminiscent of the way it was against the Argos in week 1 back at Taylor Field, but he is smiling Henry, and 4 for 4. They've just been shorter passes, Matt, and you wonder if they're going to have to start forcing that ball down the field a little more.
Well, let me say, I think the wind is playing a factor here in the first quarter because the wind is in their face, and that's why you've seen a lot of short passes. And they've got another few seconds here, and they're going to have it at their backs, and we may see a different offense.
Quarter is winding down. That handoff there to the fullback, Chris Zarka. Hamilton's doing an excellent job stuffing the run early in this game.
Unsung hero in the middle there. He usually takes 2 on every play, Mike Philbrook does, so they can free up Mike O'Shea. He's the unsung hero, always taking on 2, sometimes 3 players. He and Jeff Cummins have the most difficult job of keeping that man free, Mike O'Shea, because when a linebacker, a middle linebacker can run free, he can make plays. And those 2 guys, Cummins and Philbrook, are certainly the guys that keep him off and keep him clean, as Don Southern would say.
This is the last play of the first quarter. And Burris is throwing on it to Farthing, but it's incomplete. And so Saskatchewan will have to punt again, although this time Paul McCallum will have the wind at his back. We'll be back with more in the second quarter at Adidas Friday Night Football.
Adidas Friday Night Football on TSN at the quarter.
All right, James Duthie back with the Dunnigan list panel of Eric Tillman and Chris Schultz. And, you know, last year Hamilton won the 2 games against Saskatchewan by a combined score of 105-27. So over the last 9 quarters, it's now 118-27. That is absolutely ugly. And you talked about it before the game, a mismatch between Danny Mack and the Riders back there.
I could feel it. I could just feel it. You know, the way he was distributing the football, there was a little down and out to Corey Grant, and another little down and out to Corey Grant. They tried a little screen play, and then all of a sudden they isolated Archie Amerson on what they considered the weakest defensive back. And because of the width of the CFL field, that's how you approach the football game. You come to the line of scrimmage, and if you see your best player and on the rotation of the secondary going against someone you feel cannot cover that guy, you go for it. I think Amerson and McManus right now is one of the best two-punch guys in the entire Canadian Football League, Eric.
There's no question. And how do you help a young defense, Chris? You control the football. And Saskatchewan certainly has not done that in the first quarter. They have 1 first down. You don't see too many teams have success that are continually in 2nd and long. They've tried to run the football, and they've had absolutely no success. This Saskatchewan defense has battled, and they've battled hard. But if they're on the field all night against a veteran quarterback like Danny McManus, you're going to see big plays like the one to Amerson, James.
Well, we are operating without our quarterback in here tonight. We're doing quite well. In a lot of ways, we're kind of like the Eskimos. No quarterback tonight. Second game of the doubleheader involves the Edmonton Eskimos taking on the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. That's up right after this one. And yes, Nealon Green is going to dress. Will he play? Will he? Won't he play? Find out more on that a little bit later. Mr. Dunnigan, who do you like in this one? 2 of your former teams.
Hey, you know, I ain't going out there, James. You're not going to corral me into making anybody upset. Don Matthews or Dave Ritchie. You know, both teams need to win out there. Certainly, Edmonton needs to win in Commonwealth. They haven't done that in a while. They need to get back on track, and certainly Winnipeg needs to put a win streak together themselves. So it's a coin toss. You know, you got to go with Winnipeg though, as far as Kerwin Bell and the experience that he brings to the table. I'll take the experience over the youth any day.
So there you have it. And you actually go with the coach that you never had actually before. You played for Don Matthews.
No, but
not Dave Ritchie.
I know Don's shorthanded over there with a young quarterback trying to get her done until Nealon gets back.
Paul McCallum now. Inside is 25, despite having the wind. It's not a very good punt. It bounces out of bounds inside the 40. Now let's go down to the sidelines and join David Amber. Hi, David.
Hey, Rod. You know, one big thing that Hamilton has to their advantage, obviously, is their offensive line. Not only have they not allowed 1 single sack this season, but they really outweigh and are outmanning the Rough Rider defensive line. They outweigh them on average by 40 pounds per guy. They only allowed 7 sacks all season. They had 3 All-Stars in Hack, Coulter, as well as Chris Burns. And really, they're manhandling Saskatchewan right now. They've got to find a way to stop that to get back in this game.
And we talked about this earlier, Matt. Compounding the problem is the secondary and the inexperience of it. If the line can't get much pressure on McManus, it becomes even more of a problem. They do a good job here with flags down, stuffing the run for no gain and maybe a loss of a yard. Arkel Trulock in there on the tackle of Ronald Williams. Looks like it'll be holding against Hamilton. Bamadali Ali confirming. They'll take that penalty.
Holding. Hamilton, number 51. First down repeated.
Center Carl Coulter called on that one. That'll push them back. And the significant numbers was passing yards, Matt, and also the net yards for Saskatchewan.
Exactly. And if Saskatchewan's going to stay in this ball game, they're going to have to take care or turn that right there into some points. They weren't able to do that in the first quarter, but I'm surprised that both teams haven't tried to establish a run more.
5 receivers to the right for McManus out of shotgun. Just Corey Grant off to the left. He dumps it over the middle to Morreale, who has it. And on first down and 20, he gets 10 of it back near the original line of scrimmage.
Yeah, Mike Morreale had a Mike Morreale week last week. It was good to see him break out. Here he just comes across the middle, finds a nice easy. His man's playing way off, makes a nice little circus catch there, picks up half the distance they need for a first down. Danny McManus knows that he can go to Morreale across the middle and make those tough catches for you.
So call it 2nd and 10 on the gain of 10 for the Cats. And once again, McManus working almost exclusively out of that shotgun, dumps it over to Williams, who tries to cut back, and he loses his footing, and he's down after a gain of only 2. Ticats to punt it away.
Danny Mack a little confused there by the Saskatchewan defense that he was presented with right there. They overloaded one side, and then at the snap of the ball, they just dropped 4 people back off into coverage. Danny Mack dumped it out, thinking that he'd have Ron Williams in the flat all by himself, and then they used their team speed. Like I said earlier, Rod, this team is getting a reputation for being quick defensively, and they corralled Ronald Williams before he can even get going.
And they do have good speed. The size question before. I mean, I wonder, too, how much of it is just needing to get those games under their belt. Can they have a good, solid defense with this personnel? I think they believe they can. A low punt, not particularly good against this wind for Osbaldiston. And the return up to about the 38 after a 36-yard punt. Burris to go to work again here on Adidas Friday Night Football.
Swipe your club.
This half of Adidas Friday Night Football on TSN is brought to you by your local Ford dealer. The Simply the Best Clear-Out event is on now.
Right now, Danny Barrett's Green Riders are trailing by 13. Barrett trying to avoid the distinction of 12 straight losses, even though he's only been around for what would be 3 if they lose tonight. He inherited a team that had lost 9 straight regular season games. The record is 12, and that was set back in 1979 when a young rookie head coach just finishing his playing days took over the job in Saskatchewan by the name of Ron Lancaster. So, in essence, Lancaster would be tying the record of the team that he had back then if his team beats his old team here tonight. Lancaster's start as a head coach with Saskatchewan was difficult. Right from his playing days, Matt, in a Hall of Fame career, he immediately became the head coach of the team and probably by his own admission wasn't ready for it. It's a different set of circumstances. Danny Barrett has had time as an assistant for the past few years and feels obviously he's ready for this job and really has had a good positive impact on this team so far.
Certainly has. Certainly has, Rod.
First down, Saskatchewan. Burris hands off. It's Tyler who can be shifty, and he changes direction, picks up a couple of yards. Mike Philbrick in on the tackle, and Gonzalo Floyd.
Gonzalo Floyd, player of the week last week. We call him Lolo. In on the tackle there, he and Willie Fells, rookie from Purdue, making it happen on the right side.
And he's leading Montfort in the sacks race so far.
Yeah, those guys, they got a nice little friendly game going on between themselves.
Tied with Swift Birch after 2 weeks with 3 sacks. And Burris hears that one out, and it's incomplete, intended for Curtis Marsh with Frank West, the corner, on the coverage. West breaking it up and leading to 3rd down and long and another punting situation for Saskatchewan.
Yeah, West just simply comes up and makes a hard play. It's cutting right in there. Makes up a lot of ground, comes out of his back pedal, covers some ground, falls a little high enough for West to get in there and interfere with Marsh, break up his concentration. Big time play. We saw in 1st and 10, first play of the series, West was playing a cut coverage to the boundary and playing a little soft. They threw underneath him, although he's supposed to be in that area, outside and shallow. He was playing so soft. Again, he's playing deep, comes up, makes a play there.
And once again, good pressure straight up the middle, this time by Kyle Walters. And the punt by McCallum, but he gets a good one away. Tony Akins has nowhere to go. The coverage is good. And a flag goes down just at the end of it, but after a 40-yarder and a minus 6-yard return, you're watching Adidas Friday Night Football.
The virtual first down line is brought to you by Molson Canadian. I am Canadian.
In the first quarter, Hamilton's offense moved very well, Matt, but this circumstance is different.
Yeah, it is. 1, they've got the wind in their face. 2, they're backed up and have poor field position for the first time this ball game. Roles have reversed right here at the beginning of the second quarter.
The one turnover in this game has gone Saskatchewan's way. This would be a great time for another, and that one is dropped. Thrown to Darren Flutie. Looked like it nearly deflected on the way towards him, but it falls down for 2nd and 10.
We saw Danny McManus push the ball downfield in the first quarter when he had the wind at his back, cut several times to Archie Emerson, but we didn't see Henry Burris throw any vertical balls down the field or deep balls down the field. Danny McManus, with the wind at his face, 1st and 10, comes out and throws short. You see if this is an indication just how much this wind is a factor here at Iberwind.
On second down from his end zone, he throws off to his right, and he has a man. It's complete.
McManus to Andrew Grigg.
To Andrew Grigg.
First down.
And some pressure on a 20-yard gain by Demetrius Maxey.
That's not a matchup you're looking for offensively when you're in a blocking scheme. You do not want your running back right here blocking Demetrius Maxey right here. You want big on big, and this is considered small on big. Ronald Williams is going to lose that battle. He's going to lose that every time, and that's something you don't see too often. Danny McManus on his backside.
Even after he gets it away, McManus is not used to being hit. That's the kind of protection he's had. Williams with the ball this time. And loses the ball. And it's Saskatchewan's ball. And there's the turnover they need again. Their second of the night. Ronald Williams, after losing a battle with Demetrius Maxey, loses another one there.
Yeah, maybe he's thinking about that. He got his quarterback hit, still in his thought process. He wasn't really focused. Who knows? 1,000 things could be going through his head. He's just trying to compete out there best he can. He bounces outside, and White comes up initially, strips the ball, and now it's just who can bat it out of the bounds first. Smart play by that young secondary, knowing that, hey, in the CFL, you don't have to have control. Just bat it out with your hand, change the possession.
And let's see what Saskatchewan can do with it. They have the wind, and they have the ball inside the Ticat 25, down by 13. Burris throwing wide open. Darrell Hobbs has it inside the 10. And it'll be first and goal for the Green Riders.
Burris to Hobbs.
Got to move the launching point. Danny Barrett says it's imperative to move the launching point of the young quarterback. That means move him around. Don't keep him there as a stationary target. Right away, they get more aggressive when the wind at their back. Roll him out of the pocket, and they find Hobbs, a receiver they wanted to get involved in this offense more.
Henry Burris has shown composure in the past. Last year, last week, looking end zone, knocked away.
Jeff Cummins gets a hand on it, gets his big meaty meat up in the air, and hey, he couldn't get to him, but I tell you what, Rob Hitchcock, Joe Mumford were coming, and right there, right up top there, see that hand right there? He gets it in there, knocks it down. We saw Demetrius Maxey do it. Jeff Cummins says, I'll return the favor.
Second down, goal to go. Burris rolls left, end zone again, he has a man! Gulliford just overthrown. Adam turned around.
That is so fun, Rod. That is just so fun down there. The kid knows he had a shot, an opportunity for a major. Sprint the corner again, keeping him on the move so that Hamilton doesn't have a chance to harass him in the pocket. Throws just out of reach of Gulliford. Henry just knows, oh, baby, I got to make those count.
Like to have that back, right?
Yes, he would.
For what they need. Points, any kind of points right now. Paul McCallum with the ball to be placed squarely on the 15. We'll see if he can give some points to Saskatchewan. And they do have something to show for the turnover. Not a major as they'd wanted. They get the field goal. Henry Burris. He wanted a touchdown, and they nearly got it. 13-3 Ticats in the second quarter. Adidas Friday Night Football on TSN. Ronald Williams back on with that Tiger Cat offense, but after he coughed it up, Saskatchewan had a chance, Matt.
Yeah, had a chance and didn't capitalize on another turnover. That's two now. They haven't put any points, well, put any majors on the board, I should say. Williams with the fumble here. Doing a good job of tucking it away.
But George White Forrest, and they got the turnover. Could get another one here, actually. Goes over Danny McManus, or he couldn't control the shotgun snap and has to throw it away, so it'll be second down.
That's always an ugly feeling. You know, I kind of felt that feeling before the game with Rod Smith here. It just was a high snap. Went over the top of Danny Mac. He does a smart thing. Gets control of it as quickly as possible and looks where he can abort and just put the ball on the turf somewhere and not take a large loss.
I got to rehearse mine several times, though, before we got a take, though, right?
Ooh, and it was ugly.
You were complaining. I was heating them back there, too hard.
Certainly wasn't going to come underneath the center.
Okay, on second down, McManus herring it deep. Wide open, big play. Andrew Craig has it. And going against the wind, they air it out anyway, and they get it to the Saskatchewan 36.
Andrew Grigg is not supposed to be their deep threat for the Hamilton Ticats. It's supposed to be Corey Grant's role, but Andrew Grigg has been taking this role in stride, simply blows by McCalla, the right corner. Danny Mack showing his strong arm, puts the ball on the money. That's Andrew Grigg's 10th catch of the season.
And a gain of 39 yards for the Ticats are in business again with a 10-point lead here in the second. And looking for more. And passing again, short to Grant. Tries to cut back. And they have him taken down, but not before another gain of about 10 yards. As this drive moves on, and now Grant is signaling to the Saskatchewan bench for a little attendance there. To the dismay of Danny Barrett, who has seen a tough night so far on his defense. McManus, for the most part, has been taking them apart. 11 for 17, 238 yards so far, and we're not even done at halftime.
Well, it started to rain a little bit down on the field here, and there's also a player down for Saskatchewan. We'll check on his health in a second. But it's raining softly, and it's beginning to rain on the secondary of the Riders. They can't do anything to stop Danny McManus at this point. Giving up over 177 yards rushing per game, but right now it seems like it's in the air. That seems to be the plan that Ron Lancaster's employed to air it out, and so far so good for the Ticats.
Thank you, David. And like his quarterback, you can never tell if his team is up or down. And speaking of up, one of the players, it looks like Marcus McDavid for Saskatchewan is up now and heading off.
They're going to have to bring in, you got Marcus McDavid, who's a rookie out there. Now they're going to be more shorthanded in the secondary. In comes 410, number 27. They're going to bump somebody out. I look for White to move back to half. This is off the top of my head now, right? I think White's going to move back to half. We'll take a peek here. 410 to go to Sam. Donaldson go back to Will. And that's exactly what they do. And White goes back to half. Donaldson goes from the strong side linebacker to weak side, and they go 410 to the strong side.
And that's what they had in week 1 against the Argos, essentially, right? McManus sets up the screen, and Williams has it, and on first down he picks up about 5 more yards down to the Saskatchewan 21.
So there you can start seeing the chess game defensively. Defensive coordinator Gary Etcheberry, what he has to deal with. Not only is he dealing with, quality people and putting them on matchups, but now he's got injury. Now what does that do? Changes 3 people now. 410 goes to strong side linebacker. Vincent Donaldson goes to weak side linebacker. And then White moves back to the halfback position. Big change for the Saskatchewan Roughriders. See if Hamilton can capitalize.
They've capitalized on most everything else so far. And 2nd and 5, end zone look, Moriarty, touchdown Hamilton.
Sure is good to see Moriarty getting involved now. 4 catches last week. He kick-started his season basically, and Danny Mack has found his receiver, one of his favorite targets last season. He's getting him back in the groove.
And another convert by Paulus Balderson. His second to this one, and touchdown by Moriarty, and the Cats lead big time now, 20-3.
We got a great shot of Danny McManus and what he's thinking here. He knows that Vincent Donaldson just went from the strong side to the weak side, and he's going to be matched up against his favorite target last season, Mike Moriarty, and that's exactly where he goes. He goes after a mismatch. Moriarty secures the ball just long enough. Feed her down. Oh, I don't know. I think if Glenn Suter was here, he'd be debating that one, but I'm here now, and that's touchdown all the way. That's a good catch.
We'll have to put it to him a little later on, see what he thinks. He's getting ready for Winnipeg and Edmonton with John Wells later tonight in their doubleheader. The first game of this doubleheader is all Hamilton right now with a flag down with the kick going out of bounds. And a little bit more time for Danny Barrett and last-second instructions for Henry Burris.
Illegal kickoff. Hamilton, number 3, first down.
And so they'll bring the ball right out to the 45. A little better place to start for the Green Riders. Down by 17. A look at the scoring drive. 5 plays, 75 yards, ending up.
How's everybody doing?
With Mike Moriali. How's everybody doing? A little better on that Ticat bench, I can imagine. And that key play, Andrew Gregg, a 39-yarder down the side. The fake, and it's complete to Gulliford, close to first down yardage for Saskatchewan up near midfield.
Take a peek at this again. Morielli, you're smiling. I don't know if you should be smiling or not. Let the folks decide at home. I think you might have got a gift here. Vincent Donaldson does a great job of snapping the ball out right there. Number 33 in the stripes says, yes, that's good. I'm not quite so sure. He's in the air. He's got it while he's in the air. 1 foot is down. Then it comes out. Offensive-minded quarterback sitting here talking to you right now says that's a touchdown.
That's one perspective, right?
That's right.
That's one.
That's all.
I imagine in Saskatchewan, there is a different perspective right now. And on that short yardage, the Riders do get it over the line and to the Hamilton 54, and so the drive will continue.
Need to respond here, Rod. Need to put some points on the board.
Well, we talked about it earlier. Early in the game in BC last week, Henry Burris threw an interception. Raphael Ball took it back for a touchdown. The next time he got the ball, showed a lot of poise in driving them back, taking it in himself. It ended up being a 30-28 win for BC. On first down. Gulliford has it. And a gain of about 5. Or excuse me, upwards of around 9 yards, near first down yardage.
Tip for tat right here. Henry Burris says, hey, Danny, you get a formation, our defense, I'm in formation, yours. He puts Deion Tyler all the way out to the right side on Harper in a wideout position, puts Gulliford to the left, looks right, plants, throws left, hits Gulliford for apparent first down.
And it is a first down.
So he's got some trickery happening pre-snap, just like Danny McManus. He's got some motions going, he's got some formations going, and they know that they have to do that in order to match up and create some confusion with Hamilton's young secondary on the left-hand side.
They're doing it now. This is the best drive in this game. Not the deepest they've been in terms of field position. That was because of a turnover. But out of the shotgun again, Burris calls his own number. And number 1 picks up about 5 yards to set up second down. He decided awfully quickly, Matt, to go.
Well, yeah, well, Henry Burris is quarterback draw all the way. Here's a nice, a real good look at it. 1-2, and he's gone. Finds a little hole. Mumford so quick. Has a shot at him. Henry does a good job avoiding it. You know, Henry's not a runner. Henry is a scrambler, enough to buy time, to move around, be mobile, create some time for himself.
The first 2 games, he rushed only 5 times for 23 yards. Passing again there. And finally does get the ball away as he's going down. Joe Montford was taking him down. Fans want a grounding call, and there's an argument that ensues later on, so a flag does come out, but not until afterwards. Does he intentionally throw it away? He was being taken down by Montford.
Yeah, that's what he did. He intentionally threw it away. Ball was flying around there one-handed, wasn't securing it, putting it away. I thought he was going to put it on the ground before he had a chance to throw it away.
Intentional grounding. Saskatchewan, number 1. Third down.
This is tough, Rod, because it's going to push him back. Take it.
Does take them back 45. It would be a 52-yard field goal try. Montfort doing it. Burris throws it away. We'll be back after this. Judging by this arrangement in the picture, it looks like Duthie and Schultz are anchoring things up front, and Tillman is assuming the role of the quarterback with Dunnigan here in Hamilton. We'll have them for you coming up. CFL live at Adidas Friday Night Football at the half. Paul McCallum will attempt a 52.5-yard field goal for the Green Riders. He has not practiced much in the last 2 weeks. He's really cut his reps down in practice because of a sore leg. He has a breeze at his back. It'll be interesting to see what he gets. It is good, and just barely. Good kick by Paul McCallum, who has his longest of the season. He had a 48-yarder last week against BC. And I know, Matt, you had pointed out that despite the leg injury in practice, he was nailing some good kicks.
56-yarder in practice, so that was the gimme. Saskatchewan comes right back, though, and puts some points up on the board, staying within striking distance.
How's it going, Mom, Dad? Say what's up, Preston. How's it going, Megan? Miss you guys.
But he didn't miss that. And because of it, it's 20-6 now. McCallum, actually, his CFL career began here in Hamilton. Never actually played. He was cut in training camp as Baldiston was still around. Ronald Williams on the carry and first down for the Ticats up near the Hamilton 40.
Right, and alley on the stop.
And there's a guy that can carry a load and has with the Ticats and with Winnipeg before. Last week, a couple of touchdowns on short yardage situations against the Eskimos at Commonwealth Stadium and picked up 80 yards and said afterwards he wasn't happy at all with the way the running game was going. There was room for improvement. Out of the shotgun and second down and 5. McManus off to his right, wide, complete, turning around. Andrew Grigg again had a big gain earlier in this quarter, and he gets that one out across midfield. Gain of 15 yards for Grigg.
All you young receivers out there, if you want to become a big friend of the quarterbacks, you have to work back to the football. And you see Andrew Grigg working back this way to the football because he knows that the defensive back is aggressive to it. And he plucks it out of the air, is able to get around McCallum, pick up the axe, move the chains.
McManus looks the other way to Grant. Cuts back inside. But this time McCallum has him nailed, and a good tackle near first down yardage. They will be shy by a yard or two. It'll be second down.
Now we got a younger receiver in Grant coming to the other side. Very similar play and pattern. And he sits and waits on the football. And this is the difference in a veteran receiver and a young receiver. Waiting on the football there and then make something happen. But there's nothing. I know Danny Mack would like to see him maybe come back to that football a little bit more, but he found a nice soft spot out in the zone, so he's going to sit in zone, and then and then once the ball's thrown, now you have to work back to it. Whereas in man coverage, you sit in zone and you run away from man. That's what you saw Andrew Grigg there. He ran away from his man, and you saw Grant sit in the zone here. But once that ball's in the air, all quarterbacks like to see receivers aggressively attack back to that football because you know the DBs are, so you better as a receiver.
It's worked like a charm so far. And McManus has used the wideouts well, considering he's got slot backs, good inside receivers, Flutie and Moriali. He has used Grant and Grigg a lot. Grigg's had a great game, but heading off now with a slight limp. In his 6th year from Sault Ste. Marie.
Yeah, it looks like he just caught a cramp. He just cramped up, and you know that's a good sign for the Hamilton Ticats when Grigg is just a little dehydrated. Hydrate him, pour some water in him, loosen him up, put some heat balm on it, do whatever they got to do down there, get him back going.
And they can use him. They've clearly made that known.
Really coming into his own as a receiver, really starting to find his niche in this Hamilton offense. Always had the talent there. I had him. He was in my huddle in '96 when I was with Hamilton, and I loved him. And I just didn't get to play long enough with Hamilton. But that's another story. But Grigg is one of my favorite receivers, and he's become Danny McManus, one of his favorites as well.
And it's hard to divvy it up, given all the talent they do have. McManus, the weapons to throw to. And then this guy to run the ball. Ronald Williams at second and short easily has the first down inside the Saskatchewan 40 to about the 37. So the game is being controlled thoroughly by this Hamilton offense. A touchdown in their last drive, and they are driving down again and scoring position again with 1:26 to go until they head to the locker room for halftime.
That's just a short yardage offense. When Musique comes in the game, Garrett Smith comes in the game, and Williams comes in the game, and they get some big bodies in there to move them out for Williams.
Out of the shotgun again at first down. McManus airs it out for Morreale again, but this time the coverage is maybe a little too good as a flag comes down. George White was all over him, and now arguing an apparent interference call against Saskatchewan.
It's like Morreale's trying to go for the ball, and he's going for it, and White is not playing the ball, got his back to him. There's some contact
Deliberate
made
forward
there.
pass interference, Saskatchewan number 38, first down.
With his back to the ball, George White looks like he pushes off a little bit, and Morreale.
And then they get their finger pointing going, it was him, it was him, it was him,
right.
it was him. Everybody's pointing at each other. Don't they know it's not polite to point?
Well, this is disastrous for Saskatchewan as it comes down first down and goal at their 5. Hamilton with the ball and looking to build on a 14-point lead.
There's that short yardage offense again. Musica, Jared Smith in there.
And Ronald Williams takes it, and Ronald Williams has another touchdown for the Ticats. Ronald Williams with his 3rd touchdown of the season. He had 2 last week against Edmonton as Balliston converts again. And now a 21-point lead for the Ticats, 27-6 with just over a minute to go until halftime. The Green Riders have some regrouping to do. 30th career rushing touchdown for Williams.
Got a great picture of this here. We see the short yardage. We got the big boys in here, and then we've got Buzz Lightyear, Chris Burns, number 55, pulling out here. There he is, number 55, coming outside and around. He's going to win that matchup. He gets a pretty good bench press on George White. Burns is coming right here. You can see him pull out and around and lead the way for Ronald Williams. And all he does is come out here, bench press George White, boom, right there, knocks him off his heels, gives Ronald Williams plenty of pay dirt to get in a touchdoat.
Well,
there's Buzz
Lightyear. Now, does he like being referred to as Buzz Lightyear?
I don't know, but
I've got
we're
kids.
Find out.
I've got kids. I've seen Toy Story.
Look at him. Look at me, Buzz.
And Buzz's line is to infinity and beyond. And the way things are going for this Ticat offense, it might be appropriate right now.
Come on, is that not Buzz Lightyear? That's a great ball player right there. Moved from right guard to left guard this year. We'll talk about that later, but big transition for him.
Dion Tyler with the ball and gets it up across the 35. Another drive for the Ticats. 6 plays, 75 yards, and just a minute and a half, and capped off by that guy, Ron Williams.
That looks good to me.
But the big call was that penalty, George White, interference on Mike Morreale.
Well, the big boys can smell blood down here. Here comes Chris pulling out and around, knocks George White off his heels. Ronald Williams basically has a walk in there. That's what big people do for you. Clogs him up in the middle, gives those spacers an opportunity to get out and around.
Darrell Hobbs with the ball for Saskatchewan. Up across the 40 to the 42. Still shy of a first down.
Gain of 8, second down, 2 yards.
On an 8-yard gain. And Saskatchewan has to hurry up. 53 seconds showing on the clock.
Hurry-up offense here. Still getting the signals from Danny Barrett on the sideline.
Dwayne Demetression is in the game and flanks out to the right. Chris Zarka takes the ball, just trying to get to first down yardage, and has it up across the 45.
Reminds me of Larry Zonka. You know, just head down, runs into anything, tries to run it over, bounces off, and just keeps his legs driving and picks up critical first down for him.
Zonka, similarity that way too, right?
I didn't even think about that. Not that gifted, Rod.
Zonka was 39. Looks like he wants to air it out. He's under pressure. He gets it away. It's intercepted. It's the rookie Nicholas Harper who had it thrown right to him. And with 18 seconds to go until halftime, the Ticats are in total control.
Cummins coming right from the top. Watch how far big man has to run. Jeff Cummins is going to actually force this interception. Rip move underneath. Gets his paws on burst, bringing him down. Henry throws off balance with somebody on his back as big as Jeff Cummins. Anybody throwing an interception in that case, but he probably should have ate it there, trying to make it happen. I can understand that when you're 21 points down, but then Danny Mac has 18 seconds to see what he can do.
And quite possibly get themselves in field goal range, although they are against the wind. Quick pass to Aaron Flutie. He's got daylight. Flutie across the 20. Loses the ball into the Saskatchewan end zone. And the Riders need to recover it or else touchdown Hamilton.
Oh, no. Oh. Hey, this is crazy CFL football, but this CFL football at its best.
What else can go wrong for Barrett and the Riders? And right for these guys, Andrew Gregg recovers it when the Riders had a chance to recover it in their own end zone and head to the locker room, but instead it's another major for the Cats.
George White strips it from Flutie. All the people hustling downfield. This is what hustle does for young football players out there. Darren Flutie does the right thing here. Tries to split these two defenders. Loses control of the ball. Hustle pays off for Andrew Gregg right there. Always rally to the football.
I believe it was number 31, Ladolphius McCalla, who had a chance to recover it in the end zone and just couldn't corral it. And instead it was Andrew Gregg, what turned out to be a 58-yard touchdown.
Darren doing the right thing, trying to split it. Loses control.
And it was McCalla who had that last chance for the Riders before Gregg got it.
And look at Darren. He's, what am I doing? What am I doing?
Hey, he gets an assist, right?
That's one. That's not going to be a keeper there, but I know he's great friends with Andrew Gregg, and they'll be having a good time talking about that one later on tonight. Well, he showed some burst there. He ran away from some people. About split the two defenders, lost control of the football, and then hustled by his teammates made it happen for the Hamilton Tiger-Cats, but it's almost like a nail in the coffin right here.
And this all became possible again late in the half because of this interception by Nicholas Harper, Matt.
And an unsung hero, Jeff Cummins, coming from the outside, hustling all the way, gets his mitts on Henry, throws him off balance. And it's history from there on out. He wants to talk to him. Come here, son. Let me coach you up some more. He's going to pat him on the back, say, we'll regroup at halftime.
It's a tough night for Danny Barrett and his team, down 34-6. And the final play of the half, trying to bust something. Tyler takes it. He gets out of bounds ultimately, and there are zeros on the clock. Barrett heads to the locker room with a lot of work to do. The Ticats all over Saskatchewan. Let's head back to our Adidas Friday Night Football control.
Adidas Friday Night Football on TSN at the half.
All right, first of all, one small point. Since Dunnigan isn't here, we can pick on him. Did either one of you think that Morreale catch was a catch?
No, not really.
Matt, you are considered outvoted. But these Ticats, well deserving of the lead. They have been unbelievable so far. And finally, I guess really for the first time this season, they look like the Grey Cup champions.
Oh, they look like the Grey Cup champions for one word: confidence. Individual confidence, unit confidence, team confidence. And this play is a great example of that. Remember this, the first play, here we go, shotgun over Danny McManus's head, does everything in his power just to get rid of the football. So you would think maybe the next time around a little conservative. The heck with that. Very next play, downtown to Andrew Grigg, a 40-yard gain, putting the fear of God into those defensive backs. That's unique, but it's confidence, a belief in your offensive line, your center, and those wide receivers are pretty impressive.
Hamilton has been impressive, Chris, and I think the key for Saskatchewan was early in the second quarter. They're down 13-0. They get the turnover deep in plus territory, and they have an opportunity to change the momentum a little bit. They move the ball down inside the 10-yard line, and what does Don Sutherland do? He sends the house, pressures the young quarterback, and he misses the open receiver in the end zone, and they have to settle for 3. Again, an opportunity to change momentum. Somebody in the pregame show said they didn't think that the Hamilton defense was nearly as good as they were last year. I think it was...
I didn't say that.
Some weeks you're prophetic, and some weeks you're pathetic.
Most weeks pathetic. Yeah. It is blowout week in the CFL so far. Montreal did it to Toronto. Calgary did it to BC now. Hamilton doing it to Saskatchewan. Archie making the Riders feel like Jughead. Hamilton in control. A special treat next week is you can go online and chat with our 4 analysts Wednesday, 9 Eastern, 6 Pacific. Here, by the way, are some suggested questions for you. Does Chris Schultz get paid by the syllable?
Yes, I do.
And Eric, if you were stuck on a deserted island with one man, who would you prefer, Don Matthews or J.I. Albrecht?
I think I'd vote myself off the island.
I think they'd vote you off before that, my friend. All right, don't forget doubleheader night here on TSN. Winnipeg and Edmonton is next. Both teams looking for their first victory. John Wells and Glenn Suter in Edmonton to call that one. And the big question, is Nealon Green going to be playing at quarterback for Edmonton, Eric?
Well, Dave Ritchie says yes, but I think not. You know, in talking to the people at Edmonton today, you know, Nealon's still 75–80%, and they realize how much he means to this team as the season progresses. So I don't think they're going to take a chance to re-injure the knee, you know, at this point. The key for them, though, is getting some continuity in offense, and they've got 2 young guys in Crowley and Moss. They could play both of them interchangeably tonight.
Bombers have also been plagued with some injuries, but they're healthy at quarterback with Kerwin Bell. And even though they're also winless, they do have that overtime point. They looked a lot better last week against Calgary.
They did, and the reason was Kerwin Bell. I mean, he had a much better game the second time around. Hit Milt Stegall on a couple long-distance plays. So important to make those big plays. I mean, Winnipeg's pretty easy to analyze right now. They're very suspect on defense, improved special teams, but much better offense than before. And the reason Kerwin Bell is playing better is he's calling his own plays. I am a big believer that quarterbacks should call their own plays. Why? Because then those receivers come back and they communicate. And if you see confidence in their eyes, you're going to go to them. When quarterbacks call their own plays, they get into the game more and they develop the rhythm, which is so important in the Canadian Football League, James.
Your good friends, you can call him Kerwan?
Kerwan.
Close friends call him Kerwan?
Kerwin.
We call him Kerwin. Close friends call him Kerwan. And you still have time in Edmonton to go out and see that one and get to Commonwealth. And if not, think about the weeks ahead. Here are your ticket numbers to go see a CFL game. Jot them down. Looking ahead to next week in the CFL, we have a couple of games for you. It begins Thursday night, the Eskimos and the Lions from BC Place, 10 o'clock Eastern, 7 o'clock if you're out on the coast for that one. And then on Adidas Friday Night Football, the Battle of Ontario, the Ticats and the Argos. Argos really need to get something going. The other 2 games, the 2 undefeated teams in the league, Alouettes and the Stamps, both perfect so far. Alouettes take on the Bombers, Stamps take on the Roughriders. Well, if you're Ron Lancaster at halftime, what do you say besides perfect, guys? More of the same. Our David Amber spoke with Ron Lancaster.
Coach, I guess this is the offensive explosion you've been waiting for all year from Danny and the boys.
I guess. I don't ever look at it that way. I think every game's a little bit different. Every game has a story, and you roll with what comes. The only thing that matters at the end is 2 points anyway.
You've been a new coach in the league many years back. What are your thoughts for Danny Barrett? He has yet to win.
Hey, I went 0-12 in Saskatchewan in 1979. I know what it's like, and I think he's doing a great job. They got a lot of spirit, and I think they're young and gaining confidence. That's all you can ask.
Coach, a big lead. Good luck in the third quarter.
Thank you.
All right.
In other words, I don't take pity on him because I've been there, and that's what you have to go through. Look at the numbers. 346 yards passing, on pace for almost 700 for Danny McManus and the Ticats. And Saskatchewan, absolutely no rushing game, just 20 yards. Chris, do they have any hope at all about getting back into this one?
Well, pretty much so. I mean, it would be nice if you could go out and score first for the Saskatchewan Roughriders. Step number one. Step number two is you got to sustain some drives. Keep the damn ball away from Danny McManus. And number three is don't settle for 3 when you can go for 7. But more than that, you got to really play zone, because when you play zone, whether they run or whether they pass the screen, all your visual keys are right in front of you. You can react. When you play man, I think the receivers right now are in the groove to an extent that there's going to be this separation and the big plays will happen. And it's too much to ask these young guys to play too much man against Danny McManus, Eric.
Well, Danny McManus has had a terrific first half, and I think in the second half, what Hamilton's got to do, honestly, they're up by 4 touchdowns. It's going to take a miracle for Saskatchewan to come back. If you're Hamilton, what you try to do, I think, is get a quick 7, get up by 5 scores, and get Danny Mac out of the football game. He's the key to your football team as you're making a run at another championship. Don't take a chance on getting him hurt in a game that you already have won, James.
Of course, I suppose the chances aren't great of him getting hurt because they only sacked him 7 times all last year, and nobody seems to be able to touch Danny McManus. And the Ticats in absolute control in the first half of this one. They passed, and when they didn't pass, well, Ron Williams was taking it in himself. Second half coming up. Riders have a big chore ahead.
We're gonna kick back, relax, watch the football on a Friday night. It's Friday, and we're gonna be hard to tame. It's Friday, coast to coast, the CFL is Canada's game. Well, we're all pumped up to party, and we're ready for a fight. Come on, get back, relax, watch some Friday night football, boys. It's CFL football.
Well, I don't know if Hamilton can kick back and relax, because that kind of thing can lead to injuries, but in terms of the scoreboard for Ron Lancaster, it's looking awfully good. 34-6. Rod Smith, Matt Dunnigan back at Ivor Wynne Stadium, where the Tiger Cats are looking to improve their record to 2-1 and get a little closer to the Alouettes. They can hang on here in the second half. A 4-touchdown lead, Matt. Looking awfully good.
Awfully good. Get a chance to possibly see Cody Ledbetter possibly this game.
It's something Eric Tillman was touching on at the half that'd be incumbent on them to get McManus out of the game. Should this get even more out of hand, we'll see what happens. Saskatchewan's thinking about a comeback. Let's go down to David Amber with head coach Danny Barrett.
Danny, what did you tell the guys at halftime?
Well, first of all, we can't hang our heads and feel sorry for ourselves. We got to come out here and play hard. We felt like at the end, the last turnover, again, they put it in the end zone. We got to find a way to stop them. But at the same time, we got to play harder than what we're doing.
Last week against BC, you made a game of it. You almost came back and won. Is that something you guys touched upon?
Well, we have to. That's the only way you play this game is you can't give up. And these guys won't quit. We talked about that. Now we need to come out here in the third quarter and get some momentum.
Danny, best of luck to you.
Thank you.
Thank you, David. And he is a positive man with a very positive quarterback and a young team that's going to see nights like this. But that's the refreshing part of it, that they don't hang their heads. And let's see what they can do in this second half here in Hamilton.
Young team's going to reflect and mimic exactly their personality, their head coach, and that's a positive thing for all Rough Rider fans and Saskatchewan Roughriders, because they are going to be positive and compete.
After a 3-yard gain on 2nd and 7, the pass is complete, close to a first down for Dan Farthing. We'll see exactly where they spot this ball.
Farthing is averaging 21.6 yards a catch. That's a little under his average there. I tell you, have a veteran receiver, a route runner like Dan Farthing on your team. As a young quarterback, you want to find him, and Henry Burris does right up here on the seam after a pump fake to the outside. Farthing showing you his wheels and why he's averaging 21.6 yards per catch.
And he has found it very refreshing, the change this year, getting the football more involved, more in that offense. However, at this point in time, things stall. It's 3rd and 1, and Barrett's electing to punt, sending in Paul McCallum.
It's a good area for a fake.
I was going to say, even thinking, wouldn't you go for it in this situation, but he's playing it more conservatively. Look at Tony Aiken standing back for the punt. Well, as mentioned, Paul McCallum has that bad leg. Do you suppose he'd run on it? No. Gets a nice punt away with the breeze to Aiken standing at his 10. Sets up, finds a bit of room up the middle, but not much, up to his 15. So the positive for Saskatchewan as they've hemmed in Danny Mac and the Ticats back at their 15. But McManus has worked from anywhere on the field and worked quite effectively. The last 2 drives resulting in touchdowns in that first half. A bizarre one for McManus as he hit Darren Flutie, who lost the ball, and then it ended up in the hands of Andrew Gregg just before the half. Great numbers. And a quarterback that's had a lot of success, not just here, but in Edmonton, and winning a Grey Cup with Tillman's BC Lions back in 1994, where he really emerged as a star in this league. He'd been a backup much of the time before then. Shotgun again. Quick hitch. Emerson. He has a touchdown tonight. And he's over the 20. The setup, second and short.
Smart play, distribute the ball, get it outside to Emerson, who can make anybody miss. Probably make anybody miss in a phone booth. High percentage throw. Wind's in your face, you're backed up. Not a bad thought right there. Good play selection by Hamilton Ticats. Hey, Danny McManus is well on his way to 31,000 yards. He may get that tonight, the rate he's going.
Yeah, we last gave you the update at 29,999, but that was before a couple of touchdowns. He passed 30 a while ago. Seems like a long while, especially the green and white. Demetrius Maxey is an interception. He knocked one down before, and that's a big one to set it up at the 10.
Just what the doctor ordered, Rod.
First down, Saskatchewan, the Tiger Cats, 10-yard line.
Get your hands up. You can't get to Danny McManus. Get your hands up as the defensive lineman. Play a little volleyball. Danny's just going to throw down underneath. Demetrius gets his mitts up. And then he becomes a ball carrying Danny Mac. Becomes Demetrius Max. He goes low on the big guy. Good idea. Good job.
It's a 3-down football from here. Do you even think about a field goal?
No.
Take 3 cracks at it to get it in?
3 cracks at it. Put it in the end zone. Get a major. Get your team back in line.
They need a touchdown badly. They've been in this spot before and not cashed in. Burris. End zone. Gulliford was tripped up, caught up with Chris Schelling, and a flag goes down late. It took a while for the flag to drop as Gulliford looked for a call. Got tangled in the feet of Chris Schelling.
Gulliford, as all great receivers do, they're good actors. Right? As soon as he was getting held.
Deliberate forward pass interference. Hamilton, number 30, first down.
Boy, I like that matchup, though. Schelling and Gulliford. Gulliford right here at number 84 on Schelling, number 30, straight out in front of him. He catches him flat-footed, turns, and he's buying balls in the air. Schelling's got to pull him down. Gulliford saying, come on, come on, come on, come on.
And out comes that flag.
And he finally gets it. Referee looked like he had trouble finding it. That's why it took so long to get out of his pocket.
First and goal at the Ticat 1. Oh, do they ever need a major now? The signal for a touchdown is there, but a flag is down.
Is that Zonka or Zarka? I'm telling you, he's running just like the big guy.
They went to their big back, Chris Zarka, who punched it in. Now we're just waiting to see if they can celebrate.
Procedure, Saskatchewan, no end. First down repeated.
No end and no touchdown as a result. So the Riders are snake bitten, shooting themselves in the foot right now.
Let's go. Here we see it here, Farthing maybe off the line of scrimmage. Tough to see it there, but he's your end man on the line of scrimmage there, or he wasn't the end man on the line of scrimmage there. Got to have 7 on the line. If I was Dan Farthing, I wouldn't want to be up in there as a tight end on the line of scrimmage either. Not with his size.
So it goes from first and goal at the 1 to first and goal at the 6. And a passing situation again, no good.
Well, Burris is looking left here the whole way, so he draws the attention of most every Hamilton defender that way, and it really closed the lane here for him. Just right up, looking for Marsh coming up underneath on a little drag underneath pattern. And Willie Fells read it really nicely from the inside out, just read, burst his eyes, and broke on the football and closed that lane in a hurry.
2nd and goal. 6-yard line. Touchdown! Dan Farthing gets it. And finally, Saskatchewan has a major.
And that's a timing throw, a nice timing throw by the young man down inside scoring territory. Let that one go way before the break. Confident throw. Nice end zone look here. 1, 2, 3. Ball's gone. Farthing turns around, snatches out of the air. Boy, do they ever need that.
For the Riders, 1 down and 3 to go. And as Barrett is wont to say, 1 day at a time, the old cliche, and 1 drive at a time, possession in this case, and keep those guys positive, and he's excellent at that. McCallum follows up, and it's 34-13 now. A 21-point Ticat lead, and they'll be getting the ball when we come back. Farthing, touchdown Riders.
Speaking of Don Southern, he says in 2nd down passing situations, he does not want Lamar McGriggs in a cover situation. He wants to bring in Clifford Ivory and bring Urias down. Take McGriggs out of the game, bring in Ivory, put him at the halfback position, and right here we see Lamar McGriggs, number 45, against Dan Farthing, a situation Don Southern did not want to happen. And it's exactly what Saskatchewan went and attacked. They saw a mismatch there. Dan Farthing's quickness and route running ability against Lamar McGriggs, who's more of a run stopper. They didn't get the adjustment and the change there that they wanted to with their nickel defense, bringing in Clifford Ivory and Costin.
McCallum on the kickoff, taken down by Amerson across his 20, and finds some room to his left, and some blockers too. Can he get outside? Cutting back up, and he's finally taken down by McDavid up across to the 37. A return of 22 yards.
Don Southern, one of the best defensive coordinators in the history of the Canadian Football League, a Hall of Famer defensive back himself from Ohio State, simply understands mismatches, and I know he would like to have that 2nd down situation back. He's shaking his head thinking, man, why didn't I have nickel defense in there and bring Ivory in and bring Urias, who's a better cover man than McGriggs, into that situation. I guarantee he's talking to nobody there. He's talking to himself, folks. He's upset about that because he knows he should have had nickel team in there at that point.
Well, now let's see what McManus and that offense do to answer back. They have a big lead. They obviously don't want complacency, and they go to work with Ronald Williams, who's had a busy night.
Collins on the side.
Demetrius Maxey had a knockdown pass in the first half, and then he had the big play, Matt, to set up that touchdown.
2nd down, 5 yards.
Yeah, he did. He did the smart thing. Couldn't get to Danny Mack. Not many people do, so you get your hands up. Danny Mack's simply going to check down here in a 2nd and short situation. Max is showing his athletic ability, puts him in 3-down territory, and they capitalize on it, something they neglected to do in the first half on 2 turnovers.
His 6th season, his first with the Green Riders, of course, coming over from the Argos as a free agent. And as the ball is snapped, play is whistled down with flags on the field.
Procedure, Hamilton, number 55, 2nd down repeated.
Well, it's the one that you call Buzz Lightyear. And you said that in case Chris doesn't like me saying it. Yes, sir. He's a big man. Chris Burns called him that one.
That's unfortunate because the only time those guys get a chance to shine, come on, look at that. To infinity and beyond. They just went 5 yards that time.
Intercepted. Big play. Saskatchewan, another turnover. This is taken deep in Hamilton territory. They try to strip the ball away of the man who picked it off.
Intercepted by Ali.
Riders are in business again. Ali. We'll be back.
The virtual 1st down line is brought to you by Molson Canadian. I am Canadian.
Vintage Gary Etcheverry defense here. Brings 7 people up on the line of scrimmage. We see 6 of them here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and the 7th is here. Bombardier Ali drops off into coverage.
And gets the pick. Second time McManus was picked up. End zone look for Burris. More interference by the Ticats. And Daryl Hobbs gets the call. Frank West is penalized, and Saskatchewan is in great shape to get another touchdown here.
Have to throw that. We saw the reverse a while ago with Morreale and White. Now we've got West and Hobbs going at it, and that's definitely
Deliberate
interference
forward
there.
pass interference. Hamilton, number 28. First down.
I don't know what Frank West is upset about. He wasn't playing the football, got hitch and go, got caught flat-footed. Ball's put up a little underthrown. Hobbs going for it. Frank West initiates contact.
And a touchdown, Saskatchewan again. And suddenly that lead that looked so awesome at halftime for Hamilton has been cut in half. Pending the convert, of course. Henry Burris, and another look at it. Their second touchdown this half. Just calls his own number, punches it in, and with the convert it would be 34-20, a 14-point lead. Don't go away. Still lots of time. And the positive message is being received loud and clear on that Saskatchewan sideline.
Thank you very much, Jeremy O'Day, for clearing the way. I know Henry's patting him on the back.
O'Day, the center, leading the way, and McCallum does follow it up. And look at Barrett. And that's what he's all about.
Going all the way back to the interception, making this happen for the Saskatchewan Roughriders is Bombardier Ali, dropping back into coverage. Dan McManus, his vision is bad at best there. Ali's showing some athleticism. He's a rush end, folks, dropping back, playing like a middle linebacker.
A rookie from Kentucky to set up this. Henry Burris, as Matt said, right following that center.
Wait.
Jeremy O'Day.
To see O'Shea go over the top, boy, I tell you, that quarterback sneak, as any quarterback, is probably one of those violent plays that they're involved with throughout a ball game. And O'Shea knows that. He knows it's a free shot on the quarterback. He's anticipating it. He just shot his gun just a little bit too late there and missed him high and over the top.
Well, you heard Ron Lancaster speaking with David Amber. And there's enough modesty in this man, a great man, the CFL for a long time, but you also know there's that part of him that is never going to take anything for granted. And this is dangerous stuff. Sure, they still have a 14-point lead, but it's been cut in half very quickly.
Game of momentum, and this momentum is definitely in Saskatchewan's favor right now. Danny Barrett's got this team rolling, full of confidence.
And I wonder what he's saying to them on that Ticat sideline. As Amerson takes it off the kickoff, all the momentum belongs to the green and white so far in the second half, including that big pop.
McCarty on the stop forward.
With Chance McCarty sticking Amerson there.
Chance McCarty saying, hey, don't forget about me just because Scribner's starting D-line. Hey, I can make plays too.
Would you call that a chance meeting, perhaps?
I'm talking about a collision. I'm talking about getting stopped dead in the tracks and saying, eat some turf. That is a big body hitting a little man there. That's not even fair. Emerson bounced up, and I give credit to number 9 there, folks.
He looks like he's still looking for the number.
That was a big semi wearing number 99.
McManus passing. Morreale has it. Up to the Ticat 30, shy of a first down. And the one thing you can see in Saskatchewan is more energy, a little more fire, and you can see it in the hitting and the way they're tracking them down and making their tackles.
Tough start to this half for Danny McManus, throwing 2 quick interceptions. Just goes to show you can't rest on 347 yards in the first half in the air. Comes back out, losing momentum, definitely shifted to Saskatchewan. And they're making it happen right now. They're taking the game away from Hamilton.
Jarrett Smith in and running back in a short yardage situation, and I don't know if he got it. He got across the 30 to about the 31. He looked like he needed a bit more. Depends on the spot.
Are you betting, man, Rod?
Not in this case. Actually, you know what? If my bet goes in now, I say they're shy by maybe an inch or two. Of course, I'm using your money for the wager.
Oh, I'm in agreement with you there, Ron.
Okay, I'm using my money. No. Wow. That much.
Doesn't get closer than that.
And there is the son of head coach Ron Lancaster, Ron Jr., known as R.D. Lancaster. And by the way, he was a finalist for that head coaching job, one of the final candidates along with Danny Barrett for the Saskatchewan Roughriders. And naturally, with his father, the legendary quarterback for the Riders in the 60s and 70s, he grew up in Regina, played his high school ball there, and runs a great offense with these Ticats that's been challenged in the second half on first down. That one is out of the hands of Archie Emerson. Will be 2nd and 10.
Coming right at you. Danny Mack play action fake to Williams in the line of scrimmage, pulls up and throws a dime to Emerson. Just a little bit out in front of him, but certainly a catchable football. Would have been a great catch, but a catchable football. Now it puts him in a 2nd and long situation. An opportunity here where Saskatchewan just play soft, come up and make the tackle, make them put the ball away and get a chance to score again themselves.
Not to overstate the significance of all these plays, but if Saskatchewan could stop them here, they don't. Drive continues, a first down. Emerson atones by making that catch up with a Hamilton 45 in the sticks move.
RD, we just showed him up in the box, and Danny McManus and Ronnie Lancaster right there. Hey, all three of those people know better than anybody that the best thing to do to get this thing going right track is sustain a drive here, keep their defense off the field and regroup and put some points of their own on the board.
The ball's down at the Hamilton 46. Still with a 14-point lead, but remember, it was 28 when the half began. Jared Smith, once again in a short yardage situation, not the situation that they needed, but what they ended up with, short yardage. It'll be 2nd down and long.
Danny's got a little more hop in his step too, and I think his team reflects that. I honestly believe that. If the head coach is down, if your coaches are down, players will be down. If your coaches are up, players will be up. And the team is feeding off of Danny Barrett's enthusiasm right now.
And he's not so far removed from his playing days. Remembers what it was like to wear the uniform.
Only about 15 pounds.
That one's complete to Flutie. And another Ticat first down. So, Matt, as you alluded to, Hamilton starting to do the right things in the second half and getting a drive going, trying to diffuse that Saskatchewan momentum.
RD and Danny McManus are putting the guys in the right spots and making it happen down there. These quick, sharp throws is tough to defend because they're just going up there, sitting in the holes, and Danny McManus is delivering the football.
And a shotgun again. Over the top. Complete again. Flutie. Big yardage. Saskatchewan 30, and then given a rough ride out of bounds by George White.
George was lucky there. He got away with one. I think they could have called a personal foul there, throwing him at right. But you see Darren Flutie just coming right over the middle. High percentage throw. He's running away from man coverage. Showing you his burst. George White steer wrestling the ground there, a little out of bounds. Not too bad. A little worse than it was.
Excuse me, Matt. 20-yard gain for Flutie. 4 catches, 111 yards in this game. Jared Smith once again getting it on 1st and 10, and this time driving up for close to 5 yards. 2nd and 5 Ticats. Jared Smith, great running back at the University of Waterloo a few years ago, and in week 1, after Clifford Ivory blocked a punt, Smith picked it up, a great special teams player as well, and ran it in for the Tiger Cat touchdown. A game where they had a big lead, by the way, and saw it get frittered away. They don't want that to happen tonight. Second down. Call it 6 to go. At a shotgun again. Looking deep for Flutie. He got turned around and had a shot at it, but just a little bit too far as he had to go back over the other shoulder.
We know that he can make this play and make this catch because we saw him do something very similar in the Grey Cup for a touchdown, a very important touchdown. We're looking over one shoulder, turns completely around the other way. He tries to locate the football, and that time just not able to do it. But he can make that play 9 times out of 10, and Danny Mac knows that, so he just spot throws that, and throws that to a spot and lets Darren Flutie take care of the rest.
Paulus Baldiston has had a couple of field goals on the night, and this one will be from about 33 away. Lots of leg on that one, and 3 more on the board for Hamilton. Now a 17-point lead again. 37-20 Ticats and Adidas Friday Night Football. Back at Ivor Wynne, the Ticats have just driven down for a field goal, but this guy, Ronald Williams, was not a part of that drive. Once again, here's David Amber.
Rod, yeah, an interesting story. Ronald Williams was not in the last series. He's Hamilton's leading rusher. He has 2 touchdowns this year. He also set a club record for rushing touchdowns last year, yet he's not in. We asked why. They said no comment. I said, will he be back in the game? They said no comment, so that's all I can tell you right now.
And David, he does not look hurt, which leads you to wonder if he's being benched for a little while. The look at his face would indicate that, although I am just speculating. He does look furious.
There's a flag on the play.
Dion Tyler, the ball carrier there, with a smile as he gets up and a flag down. And I'm just speculating, Matt, he might be hurt. I mean, they just have not addressed it.
It's good speculation, Rod.
Holding. Saskatchewan number 59. First down repeated.
You saw Archie Emerson sitting down right there wiping his face. He was hollering at someone around Williams. You saw Paulus Baldiston come over just a second ago, you know, pat him on the butt, hey, keep your head up, you know, and you're getting a lot of veteran ball players coming over saying, hey, don't worry about it. You know, this storm will pass and you'll get your chance. But looks like a little disciplinary action going on down there right now. A little attitude check.
Earlier, he had obviously trouble in a mismatch in Demetrius Maxey. And then later fumbled the football, which led to Saskatchewan points in the second half. Nothing doing right there for the Riders, however. Hobbs gets it, and the Ticats are all over it. Nicholas Harper.
They had a meeting over there. McGriggs and Harper had a little party. Just blew up that receiver. Hobbs didn't know what hit him.
And they get nothing for it. In fact, they're looking at a second and very long in this situation. 25 yards.
Please turn the other 20-second clock off. Please turn the other 20-second clock off.
Saw earlier on the field goal drive of Hamilton to stop the bleeding, Danny McManus was talking to the officials, and obviously they're having 20-second clock problems, and so you want to get that corrected, make it even for both sides, so they have to turn them both off in each end zone so that one club doesn't get an advantage over the other here.
So that situation a lot with headsets, if you have communication problems, both have to go at it to make it fair. Burris airs it out, but nothing doing that time. It'll be third down and punting situation again for Saskatchewan. Now they had the quick touchdowns early in this half. However, it should be pointed out, it wasn't the result of a long drive that they really need. They've needed the turnovers to get them down there in the first place.
Yeah, capitalize on the turnovers. They didn't do it in the first half, had 2 opportunities, didn't take advantage of them. Come out in the second half, immediately take advantage of them, create them. Don't take anything away from their defense. They created those, turn them into points.
Callum back, and what Saskatchewan's defense needs is for Burris and that offense to get a drive going, give them a bit of rest, and take it down the field and make this a closer game. Flag down, nearly blocked again, but Callum gets it away. And with a roll, it goes inside the 40 for Tony Akins. George White's all over him, takes him further back at the 35 after a 53-yard punt.
White and McCallum on the stop as a flag back to the field.
I really think that George White is one of the best acquisitions of the Canadian Football League this year from Boston College. This guy started a halfback with Saskatchewan this year, and then they moved him to the linebacker position because he is so active and violent is a good way to describe him because he's all over the football field. Defensively, special teams, George White is making a quick impact with the Saskatchewan Roughriders right now.
And small size for a linebacker, but as you mentioned, the aggressiveness seems to take over at times. 204 pounds listed at.
he hits like he's 225, 230.
He sure does. And this is all coming back. It's too bad, too, for the Riders. For a 53-yard punt. With the best-case scenario to hem Hamilton back a little bit.
Saskatchewan number 47 will repeat third down.
Aaron Collins called for procedure there. Well, we're not done yet, even when we're done here, because we'll head off to John Wells and Glenn Suter at Commonwealth Stadium in Edmonton, where the 0-2 Eskimos take on the 0-2 Bombers, who actually have a point in the standings with that regulation tie, the overtime loss to Calgary last week. Good meeting at Commonwealth, and how much will Nealon Green be used at quarterback? The big question for the Eskimos. Danny Barrett can smile, even with his team down and even with them punting now in the end zone. And another flag goes down, and it's good pressure again by the Ticats. Much better field position. Aikens ridden out of bounds. Again by George White, who's all over it. This time just a 38-yard punt.
White on the stop, and there's another flag on the play.
Ticats have been coming very close to blocking these punts. They came a really close shot in the first half. This time it's Jeff Johnson, graduate of York University, a backup running back that's done some good special teams work as well, getting in there.
Darryl Drawlin's really milking these special teams, really upping the pace and the play of the Hamilton special teams, and we're seeing it week in, week out. They are creating havoc on all special teams in every form, making things happen.
Offside, Hamilton, number 13, repeat third down.
Of course you do. They had the great punt before, and then they got pushed back 5 yards. Not as good a punt, so much better field position. So for the third straight time, we'll have a punt from Paul McCallum, and hopefully that leg isn't too tired, because he's getting a lot of work right now. It didn't look too tired when he nailed one in the first half, Matt, of 52 yards.
I tell you, give Darryl Drawn special teams opportunity to block one. You give him 3 chances, sooner or later it's going to happen. Odds are in their favor. Darryl Drawn, 9th year in the league. He's been on 4 different teams, and I'm telling you, the Hamilton Ticats are pleased to have him on board.
This is like the end of a practice where they do their punt cover drills. They're going to try it again for the 3rd straight time.
Nobody likes that, because that's a whole lot of conditioning and running going on down there right now.
Down the field. Well, benefit the Riders. Good punt by McCallum, his best of the night. Amerson, though, has some room to return, and as a result, it's a better exchange this time for Saskatchewan back at the Hamilton 44, a 56-yarder back after this. On first down, McManus throwing to Corey Grant, complete. First down again across midfield. Hamilton right away on the move. And Danny Mack in the last drive got some of the momentum back for the Tiger Cats. 9-play drive that led to a field goal and a 37-20 lead for Hamilton.
Another great example there of Corey Grant just sitting in zone, Coming down to your bottom right here. Here's Corey right there, number 2. He just sits in the zone, winds it, and finds a nice soft spot.
Well, once again, with Ronald Williams out and no explanation why, Jared Smith is the running back. And he gains about 3 yards on that one. It'll be 2nd and long for the Tiger Cats. There's Williams. Does not appear to be hurt. Once again, we've not got any confirmation on that. And after a fumble early on in the half, perhaps it's punishment.
This is a simple thing, but it can be a very complicated thing and a very ugly thing in a locker room in a hurry, because one situation like that, a guy that's well-liked, well-respected.
And out of shotgun. It's complete to Flutie, and another Tiger Cat first down. But a flag is down.
White on the stop. There's a flag on the play.
As we've talked about with Lancaster and Ronald Williams, this is just our speculation because there was that fumble earlier on.
Hamilton, number 51, 2nd down repeated.
The center, Carl Calder, called on that hold, so it'll come back, and it'll be 2nd down and long. So we don't really know until they confirm it, but you do have to wonder. He certainly looks fine.
Yeah, I think that Ronald Williams will be big enough to handle this like a man and not become a cancer or a bad attitude in the locker room. I don't think that's going to happen, but in some situations where things aren't, as kosher and as settled as they are in the Hamilton locker room, it can become a real ugly situation. But Ronald Williams, you saw him there clapping his hands, cheering his team on. He's going to stay in this one. He's going to stay positive.
Or could it be more flags? I was about to say, there have been a lot of them lately. This one coming down with the snap of the football. Flags all over the place. 3 of them down, all over the field.
Procedure, Hamilton, number 66, second down repeated.
The guard, Mike Mihalik, called on that one, procedure for the Cats. So put 5 more yards on. A little more real estate. The Cats are going backwards right now.
It's not a situation you want to be in too often as a quarterback with the wind in your face. 2nd and 22.
Wonderful pass. Oh, yeah. Got a lot on it, too, for Grant. Nearly intercepted as well. Good coverage right there by Omar Morgan, the corner. So it'll be 3rd down. Ozzie coming back. McManus going off. Lancaster's team with a 17-point lead.
Use a designated driver or call 3.
Adidas Friday Night Football on TSN at the quarter.
Welcome back to TSN CFL Control. Duthie, Tillman, and Schultz. And the question I have is, how big is Danny Barrett's smile going to get when they actually win? The guy smiles ear to ear when they're down, and 3 weeks in a row we've really seen this. And I guess that's one really positive sign for Saskatchewan, because they could have folded up to 10 at halftime.
No question. And win, lose, or draw, you have to love Danny Barrett and his enthusiasm. Heck, they're down by 28 points at halftime. Yet I don't know what he said to them, but they've come out and they played with great emotion, great passion. This is a team that could easily fall to 0-3 tonight. But as Matt Dunnigan said, the team is reflecting Danny Barrett's personality, and the future is bright at Saskatchewan.
And I want to talk about another personality, Ronald Williams. I mean, this is unusual that your starting power running back would be on the sidelines, and he doesn't look like he's hurt. Now, Ronald Williams in the BC game, when all that adversity hit and the BC Lions came back and won, was very negatively vocal, was more cussing out players than really helping him. And I wonder if he didn't fall back into that mode. It's unusual to bench your top running back like this, but I'll tell you what, Ron Lancaster understands the personality of his players, and he understands how to push their buttons to get the most of them. Maybe not necessarily in this game, but throughout the season. This may be something he's setting up, so down the road, Ronald Williams knows who's boss, and it's Ron Lancaster.
But, man, he looks mad.
He looks mad.
He looks mad. May take it out on one of the Riders if he gets back into this one. We have another game coming up at you as soon as this one is done. It's a battle out west in Edmonton, Winnipeg, and the Eskimos. Both teams looking for their first victory of the season. Nealon Green is expected to dress for the Eskimos, but not expected to play.
Ronnie Lancaster, discipline problem with Ronald Williams? Possibly. He's right here. I want you to look at the distance away from this man right there. That's the two that are in question right now. Is there a little spat going on? If so, the distance between them tells us there is. I don't know if this could be the reason or not, but, you know, running backs touch the rock, you know, they're liable to go on the ground, and looks like a solid effort there by Williams. Ball goes on the ground, big turnover for Saskatchewan. Not sure if that's the problem with what they're discussing, but Ronald Williams has not been in the ball game.
I would certainly have to think that there'd be more to it than that. Maybe the fumble would be the last thing, but running backs, great ones have fumbled before. Makes you wonder. An attitude thing on the punt, the return. Eric Gulliford there after a 36-yarder by Osbaldiston. After 3 quarters, well, you can still see the absolute difference there for passing. Only 89 yards for Saskatchewan, but they did have a big quarter, and turnovers, Matt, certainly helping out.
Yeah, turnovers right here is what's kept this game close. Otherwise, it'd be a blowout at this point. But Saskatchewan has got to create those and turn those into points.
Only 100 net yards, as opposed to 450 for the Tiger Cat. And a holding call on the play as well to push Saskatchewan back to their 20. Working against the breeze here in the 4th quarter, and down by 17. And they've relied, as we talked about before, for trying to get back into this game thanks to turnovers. Had it not been for them, it still would have been a total blowout. Burris, simply put, and Barrett can't rely on those turnovers. They need a drive, a big one. And now would be a good time. down as he gets across the 30 and a first down.
Touchdown by Michael O'Shea.
I tell you, they caught him in a situation again when they got Dan Farthing latched on to Lamar McGriggs. Hey, Lamar McGriggs is a great athlete, but he just can't cover a receiver like Dan Farthing. I know that Henry Burris is looking for it, pressured, moving around the pocket, does what he can, possibly picks up enough yards for first down. But Lamar McGriggs, number 45, right in the screen there.
First down, Saskatchewan.
Is being put in situations a lot of Sam or strong side linebackers are all season long and all year long and throughout the Canadian Football League for quite some time now. Is they're trying to find a linebacker that can cover and be a run stopper as well. And in most cases, they can't cover as well as they can run stop. And whenever you can find a matchup like that, you want to attack it. And I guarantee it, Burris was looking for it that time, just didn't have time to find it.
First down. Burris, the play fake, and it's off the hands of his target. That was Curtis Marsh, and it would have been first down yardage again.
Second down.
Jeff Cummins coming hard. Right here, second from the bottom, in the middle, got a long way to go, got a lot of folks to sift through to get to Burris. Oh, just a quick move. Set up Green and just to the outside, quick move to the inside, and he was in Burris's face in a heartbeat. We almost had the ugly sack dance on our hands there.
Haven't seen a lot of that. Not tonight, none at all. On the other side, with McManus over the middle, looking for Gullivert. That one goes too far, and it falls incomplete. And Saskatchewan's going to have to put the football away.
For Gullivert is incomplete. It's third down.
Boy, Rob Hitchcock looked like he was undecided as to whether or not he's just right here, folks, coming to the right side of your screen. Here he comes, right in this area, and it looked like he hesitated just 1 minute. He's going to go for the kill shot and interception, and he kind of caught right in between there. Otherwise, we would have seen a big play by Rob Hitchcock, either a pick or a knockout.
And looking at Eric Gullivert at the end there, I don't know if he wanted any part of Rob Hitchcock either.
Good choice, Eric.
There's McCallum. He had to fake it. He had no choice. It was going to be blocked. And look what he does. A first down with a bad leg and all, and a late hit out of bounds. Oh, the Ticats have been close all night to blocking punts. There's been too much pressure up the middle. McCallum's seen it. He took off with it. And it paid off.
All right. Tit for tat, it looks like. You know, they've been trying for that block for quite some time. Pressuring hard. McCallum simply pulls it down.
Major foul, unnecessary roughness. Hamilton, number 81, first down.
McCallum looks up. They've been trying to block. He sees it. I think he sensed that himself. I don't think that was sent in from the sidelines by the looks of the cover team. And he just takes it and shows us his legs not that in bad shape. Goes the distance and gets 15 tacked on top.
Maybe Tony Akins was mad, saying, "Hey, you're supposed to kick it to me. What are you doing? I need my punt return yardage. What are you doing taking off like that?" First down. The Hamilton 50. Saskatchewan. And a couple of fakes and then airing it out for Hobbs. Off the crossbar. My goodness, can he throw that ball? Nearly threw it through the uprights.
Good looking play, a slow developing play action, one to the back and coming around the other for the reverse, buying Henry Burris time for his receiver to get downfield so he could launch it. Boy, does he launch it. Where's it go? Off the upright.
Just hit the corner. If he got it through, did they get any points for that? I guess not.
But Hobbs was behind everybody, and Burris certainly showing us that he had plenty of arm to get it to him.
Did he ever launch that one? But it doesn't matter. And Mike Philbrick is standing in the Saskatchewan backfield. They haven't snapped the ball, so bring out the flags, and Philbrick knew it as soon as he waltzed in a little early.
And Ronnie's not too happy on the sidelines.
Offside, Hamilton, number 77. Second down repeated.
That's his unhappy face there.
Does it become difficult playing these games when you have a big lead early in the game?
Well, look at Ron there. He's telling you right there, playing with a big lead, it's just tense because you don't want to keep momentum. You don't want to see it slip away. Give the other team a chance.
Shotgun again, 2nd and 5. Burris gets away from the pressure and dives for a first down. Across the Hamilton 40, inside to about the 38.
Philbrook on the stop. He's got a Saskatchewan first down at the Tiger Cat 39-yard line.
Well, it's something that Don Southern doesn't expect too often from Henry Burris. You know, we had talked about at the top of the show that he's not so much a runner as he is a scrambler to buy time for himself. But here he's showing us wrong. Hey, I can move it with my feet. I can move the chains, and he does there. Ducks his head, goes airborne, showing you that he's got a lot of grit, doing whatever it takes to get his team back in this contest.
Ticats have 11 minutes and 19 seconds to hold off this Stampeder machine that's rolling. Gulliver, does he stay in bounds? Yes! Touchdown, Saskatchewan!
Oh, Rob, what a play!
It's not over yet.
What sweet feed by Eric Gulliford on the sideline. And a strong arm. I'm talking about a dime to Eric Gulliford. He's in the middle of the field. Little play action. Boom, off his back foot. Frozen rope means he throws it on a line. Gulliford turns it up and then does a sweet tightrope dance down the sideline. Gets a great block from Marsh, number 88. Clears the way to the end zone.
A 39-yarder. The Riders were 4 touchdowns down when the second half began. Well, they've just scored their 3rd major of the half. And what is developing is a major comeback by Saskatchewan as McCallum looks for the convert that leaves them only 10 points down. Much better scenario than the 28 they started with when the 3rd quarter started. Now in the 4th, Gulliford. It's Gulliford's travels, and it's into the end zone on Adidas Friday Night Football.
Hey, Andre, what's up, man? I know you're down. Keep your head up, baby. Hello,
Ronnie
Miss Saints.
Keith's going drive there.
All the way out of New Brunswick. Hey.
Right there, key play. McCallum pulling it down for the punt, getting 15, tacked down at the end. 7 plays, 90 yards.
Hey.
That's an NFL drive there. That's not a CFL drive.
And they really needed it. As we're talking about before, they'd relied on the turnovers before. That's the first time they've driven the field and popped it in. Archie Emerson on the return, and out of bounds it goes. Ronald Williams has not been in this game for a while, and he's standing by himself. We get more now on the sideline from David Amber. David?
Well, Rod, I can update this situation a little bit. I did have a chance to speak to Ronald Williams. I said, "Are you injured, Ronald?" He said unequivocally, "No." I said, "Are you just sitting?" He said, "I'm just sitting." Clearly, the speculation that there was some type of rift between him and Ron Lancaster seems pretty accurate at this point, and he didn't seem none too pleased about being on the sideline, especially now with a 10-point game.
Thank you, David. Ronald Williams, a valuable asset, I would think, especially protecting a lead with his strength on the ground, has been benched in this second half. Oh, nearly picked up. Instead, it's a big game for Hamilton. Darren Flutie. That was close. And had Saskatchewan picked that ball, that was 6.
It's a game of inches, and it could have gone the other way and made this real interesting. Take a real good peek at it right here. Danny Mack lets it fly. Just over the outstretched arms. George White, he was looking to make a big play for his team going the other way.
So on a big first down, it's Jarrett Smith who's getting some action in place of Ron Williams, who's on the sideline. Short yardage. Demetrius Maxey and George White's in there again. As Williams stews.
Second down, 8 yards to go.
Ronald doesn't look very pleased down there. When he says he's just sitting, he's standing about 5 yards away from everybody on his team right now. And hey, he's a competitor. He wants to go out there and compete and contribute to his team. And no matter what was said between he and Coach Lancaster, he still wants to go out there and play and contribute to this cause here. I can understand that. Tough one to swallow right there.
Second and 8, and a big down again for the Rider defense. McManus has Gregg, but it's too far. Would have been down around the 15-yard line. But instead it'll be third. And punting situation or a long field goal situation for Osbaldiston would be within a try perhaps of 57 yards. Instead they look to be punting, I believe.
Kanazi returned the favor and pulling down himself. Not a chance.
He's done it before. A low driving kick just out of bounds. Nice punt at about the 15-16 yard line. So they're leaving Saskatchewan with a long field, but it's only a 10-point lead.
The virtual first down line is brought to you by Molson Canadian. I am Canadian.
Eric Gulliford missed his flight, missed the team flight to come to Hamilton. So he was late and he gets fined, but Matt, I think he arrived just in time right there. As he flies into the end zone, great work keeping his feet, keeping in bounds. That gets Saskatchewan within 10. And they start deep in their own zone. They keep it along the ground this time. It looked like Zarka, the ball carrier, in a short gain, couple of yards for Saskatchewan.
Gonzalo Floyd at the stop.
DB coming out of halftime today. We got to just play harder, take one play at a time, and go from there. Make things happen. It's exactly what they've done. And his team is feeding off his positive personality and attitude right now. They're just 10 points away with 8.5 left in this game.
It's possible. The Canadian Football League, bigger leads than this have been erased in much less time. 8:15 to go. Burris dumps it off, and it's caught. But it looks to be a little bit short of a first down. Gulliford with it, who just had the touchdown. And I don't think even the most favorable spot, you never know. It is a favorable spot. I didn't think he'd actually progress that far, but he had up to the 32. Well, there you go, the sticks move again.
Hey, the tide has changed and things are going Saskatchewan's way now ever since, well, Danny McManus came out in the second half and a couple of picks, you know, created by the Roughriders and taking advantage of the turnovers and making them into majors, and some good quality plays and long drives are making it happen, taking the game, and now they're getting the calls.
First down. Actually from the 27. Burris loads up, wide open. Marsh couldn't hang on. That was across midfield inside the 50. Would have been a big first down.
That's one of those when you're a center fielder and the guy's going to tag coming from third on a pop fly, and then you just take it and you overstride and you try to throw a dime to the catcher. That's exactly what he did there to Marsh, and it was just a little behind him and he couldn't come up with a circus grab. Henry put everything he had into that one, threw a rope down to Pudge Rodriguez behind the plate.
Wow. Just couldn't hang on, however, so the runner is safe. And they're at second down. Back inside the 30 at a shotgun now. With time, stepping up. Complete! What a big hit! Wow! Oh, O'Shea comes up with a football. And the Rider receiver, understandably, still down and slow to get up. That was Dwayne Demetrician.
Is incomplete. Third down.
Listen to this one. Oh! Say hello to my little face mask.
Wow.
That's good night, Irene.
Chris Schelling lays it on. Demetrician is Saskatchewan tough. Saskatoon native.
They're all tough. They're all tough from Saskatchewan.
Boy, wonder how Schelling feels. He laid it on. He might have taken a little pain for it as well.
Man, that was some kind of leather he put on him.
Full-scale collision. And Demetrician could not hang on to that ball. And so, McCallum has to punt it. Aikens with it. There's 42 and up across to the 47. The lights are still on here at Ivor Wing. Chris Schelling nearly turned them out on Dwayne Demetrician. Wow, at Adidas Friday Night Football. A reminder, you can see third round action action of the 2000 British Open from the old course of St. Andrews, Scotland. Our coverage beginning 10 a.m. Eastern, 7 a.m. Pacific time tomorrow. And you know, the old course is losing, and as predicted, somebody named Tiger Woods is starting to take off. 11 under par now, a 3-stroke lead over David Toms. Could this be the coronation of Woods and his Grand Slam at age 24? Of course, awesome at Pebble Beach earlier this year and winning the United States Open. Well, it was an awesome performance for a while by the Ticats, but look at these Green Riders. Not only making it close, they're persistent. Arkel Trulak on the tackle of Jarrett Smith in that Hamilton backfield. Well, the shelling is stopped now, but what a bomb Chris Schelling dropped on Dwayne Dimitrition, Matt.
Oh, you got to take a look at it again. Dimitrition doing what he can, but then Schelling just putting the lights out. Burst is checking it out. Oh, boy.
Cringing.
He's going to buy him one after the game, I can tell you that much. Maybe 2 or 3, maybe a whole 6-pack.
It's like, Dwayne, you didn't hang on, but I understand, buddy. I understand. Out of the shotgun, McManus. On second down, intercepted.
Bomadelli again.
Bomadelli Ali. His second interception. The last one led to a touchdown. He is fired up, and once again, Saskatchewan has very good field position inside the Hamilton 35.
Saskatchewan just refuses to give up, throw in the towel. Same situation. George Cortez crowds everybody in the line, then drops them all off, and Ali is the beneficiary once again and takes it for a nice return again. Danny McManus looking at it, thinks he's got a clear shot. Bombardier Ali coming from the other side, slipping right underneath Archie Emerson for a huge turnover.
Heading into this game, Saskatchewan had a turnover ratio of -5, tied with Edmonton's worst in the CFL. Well, they've taken advantage of 5 turnovers on this night. Although that first down for Dion Tyler doesn't work out very well.
Both defenses rising up to the challenge here in the last 5 minutes of this ball game, saying, hey, we're going to dictate the outcome of this ball game. Saskatchewan refuses to die, keep giving the ball back to their team, then Hamilton saying, no, you're not. We're not going to let it happen. The buck stops here. Schelling said at that time, and doing it again this series.
The defense, Joe Montford and company, rising up that time and a loss of 5 and second down and 15. Saskatchewan. Yeah, they've been coming back, but they're running out of time, too. 4 minutes, 31 seconds on the clock. Burris keeps. And he, at the very least, sets up a better field goal try for McCallum as he gets it down, not first down yardage, but close to the 25, but the 27-yard line.
Smart play by that kid. Nobody's open. Don't force it. Simply just pull it down. Use your God-given ability. Use your legs. Get it upfield as best you can. Give McCallum an easier shot. Got to put 3 points on the board.
Absolutely. They need 2 scores anyway, so they're thinking get the field goal first. Think about the touchdown after that. This would put them to within 7. What a remarkable comeback for Danny Barrett, Saskatchewan Roughriders. Tired of the losing, to be sure, but demonstrating all sorts of character once again, as they did last week at BC Place. This attempt from the 35. Bad snap. Dylan Ching couldn't get it down. There's a bad break for Saskatchewan. And Hamilton's special teams, Frank West there on the tackle, taking advantage.
Darryl Drawlin, head special teams coach Hamilton's got a big smile on his face because they're coming up big again. Just a mishandled snap with Ching. Got him. Oh, the ball is high.
Now the snap was
He's
wide,
got to come
too.
out of his stance to go get it and can't reach it. Here's a great look. Watch him. He's got to lift up, have to move his feet, can't find the handle. Then Ching's just looking for anybody. I don't know if he got it in, but he's supposed to be yelling, fire, fire, fire. Everybody's supposed to hear that and fan out their responsibilities. Didn't look like he had much help, and then the posse got him.
Snap was hard to handle. Ching couldn't get it down as a result, and they don't get the field goal off as a result of good field position for McManus, although an incomplete pass right there, attempting for Corey Grant. 2nd and 10, Ticats. Remains a 10-point lead. What a bad break for the Riders, although they have benefited from a lot of bad breaks for the Ticats as well on this night.
This next play, 2nd and 10, It's probably the biggest play of the night for Danny McManus. He knows how important this is to move the chains and take some time off the clock for his football team. So all the other things that have happened to this point don't mean anything. We're going to see if Danny McManus can convert on this. It's a critical part of the game. Can he move the chains to second and long against his team?
Getting down to the 3-minute warning. They only get one more play, or this could be the last play until the warning. And Jared Smith breaks a tackle. Smith down to the Saskatchewan 42, just what you were talking about.
An excellent play calling, showing his veteran experience. He's calling his own plays, knows he's going to be coming up, dropping off. He throws underneath the coverage and lets his people do his thing.
Jared Smith with Ronald Williams on the bench, making the most of his chance on Adidas Friday Night Football.
Friday Night Football tonight.
After this one, we head off to Edmonton. Dave Ritchie and his Winnipeg Blue Bombers, led by Kerwin Bell against Don Matthews' 0-2 Edmonton Eskimos, with the great running back Troy Mills looking to get a win on the board. Both of these teams are. Well, Saskatchewan's effort to get a win on the board, they've certainly made it a good one in the second half, Matt. But Danny McManus has had a big night, although 4 interceptions has really hurt the Ticats.
Yeah, that's really stymied their offensive production here in the second half. He was on fire in the first half, though.
And if he can get that fire back, it would pretty well put the fire out for Saskatchewan. Riders still down by 10, and inside 3 minutes now. Jared Smith going nowhere that time. He had a big gain on a pass and run to get them down into Saskatchewan's territory just before this.
Second down, 9 yards to go.
And once again, it's Ali on the tackle, has 2 interceptions in the second half. Danny Barrett, as James Duthie had alluded to before, smiling even when things were looking dreadful. Trying to stay positive down there. Talking to Dion Tyler.
You know, you talked down about Danny Barrett, and I asked him prior to the start of this game, hey, how long do you have? How much promise can you keep? How many times can you promise somebody a win, or and create hope? And when do you have to achieve it? When do you have to reach that level and get it? And he says, we don't look at it that way. We're just trying to get better in every facet of the game. We're trying to look at the details of every position and get better on a day-to-day basis. And that's what we're concentrating on, and staying positive in that approach. And he says sooner or later, those wins will start coming. And they're not concerned with a putting time frame on it. They're just trying to get better each and every day.
Unfortunately, inherited a team that had lost 9 straight regular season games. Well, there is Jared Smith, who got into this game because Ronald Williams was benched by Ron Lancaster. Now, what do you do? Williams remains on the sideline as Smith is out lying down on the field. There is another running back, a third stringer, Jeff Johnson, who we talked about earlier, playing on special teams mostly.
Well, if they go to Jeff Johnson right now, we know that is a big old doghouse that Ronald Williams is in.
It sure is. That'd be a pretty clear message. You don't put your starter back in when the backup is injured and has to go out. And Williams still with helmet off, remaining on the sideline.
Emerson in the 6-pack here, putting Flutie in the backfield, coming out as a late receiver.
And Tony Akins is in as a wideout. So Akins, in effect, is the guy who replaces Smith. Corey Grant taking it, cuts back in, and picks up more yardage inside the 30. 2:11 on the clock here at Ivor Stadium. And another big first down for Hamilton.
Well, we've seen this all night long with Corey Grant just sitting in the zone, reading it, sitting in the zone. He just reads the coverage. He recognizes man from zone. He's supposed to push up into the coverage, sit in the zone, and just widen the field there. Does a good job of making people miss. He's done that all night long. He must have 5-6 catches just on that play alone.
He's had a good night. A lot of it in the first half. Hand off to Amerson. You don't often see Archie Amerson, even though he's listed as a running back, take a handoff in the backfield and just run the ball. He is one of the receivers usually.
I think it's proof positive that it is a big old doghouse that Ronald Williams is in right now with Ron Lancaster. And when they've got Emerson in there running the football, not even going to get number 24 back in the game, that signs that pretty nasty feelings going on between the head coach and the star running back right now.
He's been a key part of that offense in the last couple of years for these Tiger Cats. But not now. And Emerson. Back-to-back handoffs. I know I haven't seen that in a long time, if ever.
They're positioning for Ozzie to make it a 2-touchdown game for Saskatchewan, and it's exactly what they're going to do. He's going to come out here, put them up 13 points, and make them score twice. And Hamilton's just trying to put the nail in the coffin right now.
128 on it. And to get back to something you talked about earlier about Danny Barrett, I mean, how long can you, I mean, you could still look at this, assuming Saskatchewan goes on to lose, as one of those character losses for the way they didn't give up. But how long can you live on character losses? Because the bottom line is they go to 0-3.
I don't think it matters. And, you know, with his comments, you know, prior to the game, I don't think it matters at all. I think they're just taking things one day at a time, trying to get better. And
from 27 out, it is back to a 13-point lead for the Ticats. Time running out for Barrett and the Riders. In Danny Barrett's first experience as a CFL head coach, he's about to see his team fall to 0-3. Albeit some good performances in there. He's lost to some tough teams, assuming a loss tonight. There was BC before it. Burris rolls out, has time, and it's short yardage. For Dan Farthing, who tries to tiptoe up to the first down marker and may have just done that. 1:02 now on the clock at Ivor Wynne, and with them needing 2 touchdowns. Barrett, the schedule doesn't get much better, and that's the tough part for the Green Riders, Matt, because they have to go back and face a Calgary team that annihilated BC last night, and then after that they have to go to Montreal where the Alouettes are 3-0, and after that they have to go back to Taylor Field and face these Hamilton Tiger Cats again.
Who made that schedule?
It's a rough one.
That's what Roy Shivers is asking right now.
The pump fake, and it's Zarka getting another first down, so they're quickly moving down the field, but they're quickly running out of time as well.
This team's come a long way, haven't they, Rod? Come a long way from last year. Look at them head-to-head. Hamilton last year just totally dominated them. He had that up 105-29. 2 total scores last year. Different ball game this year, oh.
Although in the first half, it looked like you could have that kind of game. Flags down, Joe Montfort offside. Jeff Cummins in there as well. But I mean, after that first half, my thoughts turned back to the 63-17 game. The difference, and you talked about it, Danny Barrett has them thinking, positive. Show some character, be positive, come back.
I think
offside. Hamilton, number 53, first down.
I believe that's just an indication of just how far this team has come. They wouldn't have responded this way last year. This year, or last year, they wouldn't have responded that way. This year, different story. Believe, keep plugging away, one play at a time. Just live for the moment, and let's get better as a football team, and those victories will start coming.
47 on the clock here at Ivor Wynne. Burris further over the middle, and that's caught. That's Gulliford. Down to the Hamilton 32.
Clifford Ivory on the stop there, getting some playing time. Normally we see Urias out there, but Clifford Ivory's getting a little PT out there, coming over the big lick. Just playing zone, soft coverage, letting them catch the ball underneath, coming up, making plays. So it looks like Saskatchewan's driving at ease here, but Hamilton's just playing off right now.
Let him hurry up. Burns looks to the end zone. Burris, falls incomplete, looking for Curtis Marsh, who wants the call and gets it. Another flag down in the Hamilton end zone. They've been hit with a lot of interference calls in this night, and there's another.
That looked like incidental contact to me, but big play, put him down in scoring territory.
Deliberate forward pass interference. Hamilton, number 30, first down.
Chris Schelling called on that, and once again, puts Saskatchewan down close, down to the 1. Thinking ahead with 28 on the clock. They punch it in here. They just kick the convert. Puts them 6 down. And they go for the short kick, obviously.
Well, that's going to be exciting. Looking forward to that.
They got to get it in first, and they don't there. Henry Burris keeps it himself.
We talked about the violent collision and what a quarterback sneak, you know, and how difficult it actually is. Hamilton knows exactly what we're going to try to do. Burris going to follow O'Day. Everybody's going to be pinching, submarining, and just tee off on one another.
Burris tries it again. Touchdown. Lamar McGriggs doesn't think so. He's out to argue it, but There's the ball.
Shelley doesn't think so either.
And they say 6 with a chance to make it 7. And a 6-point deficit. And 19 seconds on the clock. There's always hope.
Smash mouth football at its best right here. Tries to find a hole off the edge there.
Ooh.
Shelley's got a good look at it, as we do. You make the call there. Makes for an interesting finish, doesn't it, Rod?
Sure does. And it'll say 40-34 with that convert. And remember, Hamilton had a 28-point lead at halftime. Now, that's respectable. That's more than respectable. However, 19 seconds left. It is still a big mountain to climb for the Riders. But you look at Ronnie Lancaster, it's like they've lost. I don't think he's too impressed at all with the way his team has essentially collapsed in the second half.
Offside. Hamilton, number 99, will apply the penalty in the kickoff. Convert's good.
Which is inconsequential in this case only because it's, you know, the short kick is coming, although I suppose the 5 yards extra, even on a short kick, puts a little bit closer. I mean, this is a long shot still. They need to get the ball in the short kick, and then they need to get a touchdown, and they may only have one play at it, one shot, maybe 2 shots at it. So
a lot of ifs here, though. A lot of ifs.
But at halftime, if you would have told me it'd come down to this, I would have thought you were crazy. So I'm even amazed at this point.
Or if you had told me that Danny McManus would have thrown as many interceptions he had in the second half, I would have told you no way. But, Saskatchewan, I think, has been more of a factor in that than Danny McManus having a bad night. I just think it's been Saskatchewan making those turnovers happen.
A reminder, once this is done, we head off to Edmonton for John Wells and Glenn Suter and the Winnipeg Blue Bombers and the Edmonton Eskimos. The second half of our Adidas Friday Night Football doubleheader coming up next.
Here we go.
The saying goes, not quite over yet.
Saskatchewan's like your little brother, little sister, just won't leave you alone, just won't go away. Every time you turn around, there they are, tagging along your shirt tail.
So a bunch off to Paul McCallum's left. And a bunch of Ticats waiting for it high. Coming down into the very capable hands of Darren Flutie, and this will be over. 17 seconds on the clock. And barring a miracle, this is a Ticat victory. Harder earned than they expected it to be.
Well, this is a
49-yard line.
We're going to look at the onside kick attempt here. And all these people right there in front are just trying to block and stop the momentum of the Saskatchewan team from coming down and having a clear shot of that ball, just jumping up and tapping it out of bounds and getting possession of the football there. And Hamilton does a great job again. Daryl Adrolin's teams are playing super on special teams, do a great job of slowing down the momentum, allowing Flutie to come down with the football.
With this, the Ticats move to within a point, stay within a point of the Alouettes in the standings. Of course, they got a point in the overtime loss to BC in week 1. But you have to wonder how celebratory the mood will be in the Ticat locker room, Matt, given the collapse in the second half and given the incident with Ronald Williams. And as you talked about before, can something like that turn out to be divisive on this team?
Well, you know, I think Ronald Williams is going to be bigger than that, and they got a veteran locker room that I believe is going to squash that in a hurry. That's not going to fester. I don't think it's going to fester. Another locker room may, you know, but festive mood, yeah, they're going to correct the mistakes. They're going to enjoy this victory because they knew that Saskatchewan coming in was a very difficult football team. A lot of team speed, never said die, and they proved it tonight. They knew they were in for a battle. You know, I think they'll correct the mistakes, be happy with this win, take it, and move on to next week.
And the way that first half went, Hamilton looked absolutely brilliant. Obviously, there are a lot of positives given the points they put on the board, 40 of them. But it wasn't as easy as it looked.
46-yard line.
13 seconds now still on the clock. And Henry Burris, well, like the team itself, I mean, it was a rough start, but there are certainly positives to draw.
He's growing every week, learning. He's filing these experiences away. It's going to make him a better quarterback in the future. This effort's going to make Saskatchewan a better team as well.
The final score, The Hamilton Tiger Cats end up winning by only 6, 40-34. Coming up next, the Bombers and the Eskimos on Adidas Friday Night Football.